yeah.
Hey?
I missed that face.
Hey?
That face there, I missed it.
No, don't laugh. Don't laugh. We're telling the truth, I promise you. No, you can sit back, get back into bed, actually. Unless you have to get out of bed, in which case, get out of bed. It's a brand new day. What are you waiting for? You gorgeous, sexy human being. How are you, mate?
I'm great. I love our grays going on today, hey?
There's a tone.
It's like, how many shades of...
No, man.
I'm just asking for a friend.
It's a Monday.
Yes,
We're like
it is.
3 seconds into
I'm
the
so
week,
sorry, but I
man.
mean, I like to get it started proper, but it's a Monday morning vibes,
Shade.
okay? It's one of those things. And it's been a lovely weekend, but of course we have to start the week because I feel like the energy of the weekend has to be transferred into the weekend. We've got such great surprises for you today. We've got the world of news, so Roy is always a surprise, the way he traverses some of the top topics and the way he packages them. He makes it so palatable to enjoy news.
Yeah, completely. Right? And the whole point here is for us to try to discern how this news is going to affect us.
There we go.
And it means tackling everything from new banknotes here in South Africa, which I'm here for. We've got brand new hospitals, clinics, schools, police stations potentially being exempt from load shedding, which is a massive thing if you think of the courts, how much has been missed there. Hopefully he can give us a picture of where we are right now when it comes to the energy conversation.
And then energy, as I mentioned, let's go to a lighter energy, given the fact that we have somebody who is South Africa, in my opinion, South Africa's top vocal talent. Somebody who's signed to Republic Records, somebody who has just done so many great things. More importantly, he'll be entertaining you. Ladies and gentlemen, Loyiso is in the building. That face right there, you know him well. He's on the radio station. Probably now a song is playing of his, and that's why he's joining us.
In New York. And now the problem is, I was so excited when I saw him, I hugged for a little too long.
It's fine.
I couldn't let go.
I did the same thing.
And he just gave himself over. He was like, okay, bud, I understand.
Raul was so jealous, though, when he saw us hugging Loyiso. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, Raul.
It's okay, boy.
That's fine. How are you doing, though? Are you fine?
It's fine, don't worry. We're all going to get some Loyiso time later. We don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to worry either, Mzansi. We've got Loyiso here all morning, and he's here to entertain us. And so the rest of us. Yes, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. And, of course, you are a part of this show, too. And that's why we're chatting to you and asking you this question this morning on social media. Of course, we always want to know from you certain questions, certain things that could help us provide some tips or clarity on the situation going forward. And right now, the question is as follows. We have these roles and responsibilities in the household, right? Now, traditionally, there's things that kind of the man and the woman would do, or the husband and the wife would do, or something silly like that. But we want to know if roles have changed in your household and how so. Maybe you can come through on our WhatsApp line. That's 063-408-8863. Send us a message. Send us a voice note. Use the hashtag expressoshow.com, and we'd love to see how the world is working in your home. Interesting stuff indeed. We'll share our tips a little bit later. But for now, though, of course, official duties must commence. And Carlitos is standing by with the latest.
Indeed I am. Thanks a lot, Raul. Let's start with national news now. Some 900 SANDF members are to protect Eskom power stations around the country. The presidency says the soldiers will work with the South African Police Service in the prevention and combating of crime and maintenance and preservation of law and order. They are to focus specifically on sabotage, theft, and other crimes that may threaten the functioning of power stations. Meanwhile, Eskom has announced that stage 6 load shedding would apply until further notice, adding that the chances were likely that it would continue for the rest of the week. Now, branch chairperson of the Bloemfontein Celtics Football Club Supporters Club, Judy Williams, has appealed to authorities to ensure that justice is done for Katlego Bereng. Williams was speaking at Bereng's funeral in Rocklands in the Mangaung Metro, and Bereng was a member of the Supporters Club, and his burnt body was found in the cell of convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester in Mangaung prison. Now, investigations are still ongoing to determine how he died and how his body ended up in Bester's cell. Mourners said Bereng's death was a great loss. On to international news. A wealthy Nigerian politician, his wife and their middleman have been jailed for an organ trafficking plot after bringing a man to the UK from Lagos. Now, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, 60 years old, and his wife Beatrice, 56 years old, wanted a new kidney for their 25-year-old daughter Sonia. The Old Bailey in London heard the pair and Dr. Obina Obeta, 50 years old, were previously convicted of conspiring to exploit the man. Ike Ekweremadu was sentenced to 9 years and 8 months, Obeta 10 years, and Beatrice Ekweremadu to 4 years. Now, Russia has sparked a mad panic as it evacuates a town near the contested Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station. Now, Russia has told the people to leave 18 settlements in the Zaporizhzhia region, including Nerada, that's near the plant, ahead of an anticipated offensive by Ukraine forces. The UN's nuclear watchdog warned that a severe nuclear accident could occur. Rafael Grossi, the director of the International Atomic Energy Agency, said the situation at the Zaporizhzhia plant was becoming increasingly unpredictable and potentially dangerous. And on a very, very, very good note for South Africans, the coronation of King Charles III on Saturday was a historic moment in many, in many regards, I should say. But opera singer Priti Yende had the moment of beautiful significance. Now, the SA soprano became the first African soloist invited to perform at a British coronation ceremony. And Westminster Abbey came alive with Yende's enthralling rendition of Sacred Fire, a piece written by composer Sarah Klaas for the occasion. It's a dream come true, she said afterwards. Yende, in a stunning bright yellow Stephanie Rowland gown, cut a striking figure as she performed in the Abbey. She was singled out as one of the best-dressed guests at the ceremony and received rapturous applause from fans on social media after a stirring performance. It was an invitation from King Charles himself that brought Yende to perform at the historic occasion. Yende's illustrious career has seen her share the stage with some of the most distinguished musicians at major concerts across the globe. Yet, her performance at the coronation ceremony stands out as her most momentous one. And of course, you enjoy that, Queen. We loved seeing you out there. That's it for the news for now. Another update in 1 hour. Let's take a look at the sport. Graham is standing by.
Well, yes, still buzzing after that incredible story. Thank you, Carl. Let's get into our football and, well, mixed feelings, I think, for the fans as we enter this stage of the season. The gap between Man City and Arsenal at the top of the Premiership table remains just 1 point after both title contenders picked up valuable and essential wins, I think, this weekend. City overcame Leeds 2-1 thanks to an Ilkay Gundogan brace to open up a 4-point lead at the time. That was before the Gunners claimed a 2-0 win over Newcastle. The Man United, they're feeling the pressure to hold on to that fourth spot after Liverpool secured a 6th win in a row, finding form at just the right time, beating Brentford 1-0. United losing to the same scoreline to West Ham, with the points difference between the two now just 1. And although United do have a game in hand, there are also wins for Chelsea, Spurs and Wolves, just to give us a little bit of hope. Now let's turn to local football, and Sekhukhune United defeated Stellenbosch FC 4-3 on penalties following a 0-0 draw in the Nedbank Cup semi-finals at their Donny Craven Stadium showdown. The win saw Babina Noko reach the Nedbank Cup final for the first time in the club's history. Congratulations. They do have the mountain to climb in the form of Orlando Pirates at Loftus in Pretoria on the 27th of May. So their tie ended 0-0 after 120 minutes before Sekhukhune then edged out the hosts on spot kicks. Well done for dealing with the pressure. Then on Saturday, of course, Orlando Pirates beat their fiercest rivals out of Soweto Kaizer Chiefs 2-1 thanks to an extra time goal from Sandile Mthethwa. Well done, Buccaneers. Now on to rugby. The lineup for the United Rugby Championship semi-finals has been locked down in cement, with Dublin and Cape Town hosting games on Saturday, May the 13th. So defending champions, the Stormers will host Connacht in the first of the semi-finals. It was after beating the Bulls 33-21. And then Connacht, they surprised Ulster 15-10 in Belfast. Then Leinster will take on Munster in the second semi-final. It was after beating the Sharks convincingly 35-5. Munster overcame the Glasgow Warriors 14-5 in their encounter, and the semi-final winners will now meet in that grand final on the 27th of May. So it's going to be a big month for sport, and that's at the venue of the highest ranked of the two teams. So we'll watch that space. And of course, plenty of excitement in Formula One last night. And boy, isn't that grid looking different to years past. So Max Verstappen, being one common thread, he was in a class of his own as he carved through the field to win the Miami Grand Prix from 9th place on the grid. He really was in superb form. And Verstappen, he won that long first stint on hard tyres, putting 25 laps later than teammate Sergio Perez, and then rejoining a second behind, and then passing for the lead a lap later. So really good race management as well. And then I can't believe we're still saying his name. Fernando Alonso continued his incredible season for Aston Martin to take his 4th podium finish in 5 races. I don't think he can even believe it, with an outstanding performance of his own. Verstappen now 14 points ahead of Perez in the Drivers' Championship standings, and Red Bull, well, really in a class of their own this year. That's where we leave the sport for now. Start of a brand new week. Let's see if the weather can be as inspiring.
Thank you so much, GS. Reporting on weather news first up this morning and going abroad. Now, the number of people known to have succumbed in severe flooding and mudslides, and this in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, has risen to some 200. Now, at least 2 villages at Lake Kivu were submerged when rivers burst their banks. And on the other side of Lake Kivu, in neighboring Rwanda, at least 130 people have died as a result of floods and mudslides. Now, in Kenya, a truck driver crossing the Gulana-Lululu causeway was dramatically saved from flash flood waters. Now, the alarm was raised by worried onlookers, but thankfully, the aerial unit of local wildlife charity, the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, were close and flew their helicopter over the swirling waters, managing to save the driver. Incredible stuff indeed as you check out the imagery right now. And it was, meanwhile, a yellow level 2 warning for disruptive rain, resulting in localized flooding, which has been issued for the high fault of Mpumalanga, the eastern parts of the Free State, and the northwestern parts of KZN, as well as the south coast and adjacent interior of KZN, as well as the northeastern coast and adjacent interior of the Eastern Cape. Well, from our weather news, we head over to sunrise views, and we love seeing how you start your day. And this is the first one for the week, of course. So let's set the bar. We're starting off with Arusha Singh from Centurion, who sent through an absolutely beautiful image of her morning view. And this one looks like the sun hasn't even arisen yet, but I'm loving the colors in the shot. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Next up, we've got Berenice, who shared her image of a cloudy-filled sky all the way from Langebaan. I love the silhouettes just in the foreground there, but the colors here, again, are just pure magnificence. Again, on our list, we've got Angela from Secunda, who shared another view of the sky filled with rosy, fiery hues. I absolutely love this one. What colors you were able to capture here. Well played, Angela. And then Havrion Morris from Paul. This is a breathtaking view indeed, and this one of the sky with a combination of golden and pink hues all across this partly cloudy landscape and sky. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Mzansi, for sending these incredible pictures in. Look how you made us smile. And yes, everyone in the studio is doing the same. Use the number 063-408-8863, because of course we'd love to see how you start your day. And let's start the day by looking at the temperatures across the country. And we can start in Polokwane, where the day starts at a low of 12 up to 21. You can expect some rainfall and definitely some thunder too. Much the same from Mbelela, wet conditions from 17 up to 22. Pretoria, very similar wet conditions from 10 up to 21. And Johannesburg, the same, rain and thunder expected from 8 all the way up to a high of 19 degrees Celsius. Moving on to Mahikeng, very similar conditions, wet with a thunder, 10 all the way up to 22 degrees. Klerksdorp, much the same, 11 up to 21. The rainfall continues in Kimberley, and your day starts at 7 all the way up to 24. Bloemfontein, chilly conditions from 6 up to 22, and the rain continues. Much the same for Richards Bay. You can expect very wet conditions, 17 up to 24 degrees, and Pietermaritzburg following suit with the rain, 12 up to 21 degrees. Durban sees some thunder and wet conditions from 18 up to 23, and Mthatha, similar conditions from 9 all the way up to 22 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now over to East London and much of this area where we hope the rain lands in those catchment areas. East London starts on 14 all the way up to 22 with rain coming through for sure. Cradock, much the same, 8 up to a high of 24 degrees. GQ, Berga sees the day starting at 12 up to 23. And George, 11 is your low up to a high of 22. And hey, George, you can expect some sunny conditions on your side of the world. And carrying on around the coast over to Cape Town, much the same for the sunny conditions, surprisingly, against what we're seeing in the rest of the country. You can expect a low of 10 up to a high of 20 degrees. Worcester, much the same, 8 is your low up to a high of 26. Sutherland, a chillier start of 7 up to 21, but the sunny skies all the way around, and much the same for Uppington, 13 up to a high of 29 degrees Celsius. Again, Mzansi, keep sending those beautiful pictures in. We'd love to see how you start your day. And speaking of starting the day, what else can we expect in the headlines?
Because can you see the maize meals? It's gone up a lot,
Always, yes.
the price-wise. It's terrible, but it's okay. It's fine. Oh, sorry. Hi. Yeah, we're looking through the papers with the king of all headlines. We're going to be discussing and unpacking soon. Talking about the king, the coronation this weekend.
I suppose we have to, yeah. Yeah, we'll touch on that, yeah.
All right. And load shedding exemptions for schools and clinics, etc., right?
That's a big local story, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely going to focus on that as well.
See, look at, I mean, we've got so much to talk about. You should stay right there. We're going to warm up, get a coffee in. You should do the same. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso here in S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, of course. Mzansi, it is Monday morning, and we're getting straight into the action, diving into those headlines and going all the way through to highlight what is important right now. Now, the one thing that never changes, though, is the flow of dramatic headlines. So, of course, we brought a news editor, the one and only, the chief of the headlines himself, Roy Simpson, in the building to unpack what on earth is going on in South Africa. And as always, we'd love to know what your take is on all these stories that we're about to highlight right now. So come through with your thoughts, your opinions, and anything else you want to share on 063-408-8863. Of course, we are standing by to serve you, and Roy's here too. Good morning, brother.
Morning.
How are you doing?
It's a Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lights are on.
Interesting.
Yeah, the smoke's coming out the ears now, and we haven't even gotten through the first story here. Lots going on at the moment. Obviously, one common thread, the promised easing of load shedding over the weekend never really happened. In fact, I feel like we got a little bit more than we anticipated for. I think clearly demonstrating how far we have, or how far we have not come to a solution, how far away we seem to have drifted. Then, of course, on Friday, the North Gauteng High Court ruled that all hospitals, clinics, schools, and police stations should be, in principle, exempt from load shedding, and I say that loosely. But before, of course, leaving office, we know that our outgoing Eskom CEO, Andre de Ruyter, said that that was impossible without collapsing the grid, which makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
We've seen the pressure that these small gains can put on the grid for a long-term kind of gain. Is this a possibility? How do you see this playing out now? Because it does seem like, in all likelihood, yeah, they're going to do it, and then we're going to see a collapse shortly after.
Well, we can't. I mean, they simply, as an organization, as a government, cannot put us in a situation where they're going to collapse the grid. There always has to be a balance of what is achievable. Now, the court has done what it has to do. It's applied the law, and the law says, from a constitutional perspective, that government is messing up. In fact, the 19 organizations that took this to court, I think this was the outcome they wanted. They wanted a court of law to say, this is government's fault. This is a result of government policy.
Okay. Line in the sand. Cool.
Yeah.
That's the judgment they got. Of course, on the ground, that doesn't matter. It's nice and rarefied to have the courts go, okay, well, yes, the current government, this regime messed up. But it doesn't change anything on the ground. And they're like 1,100 and something police stations, which would need power 24/7. There are about 30,000 schools in South Africa would need power 7 hours a day. Those are vast amounts. And the judgment says you've got 60 days to do everything reasonable, to take reasonable
And this includes
steps
hospitals as well, right? On top of that.
Yeah, then on top of that, and those are big power consumers.
So
I
theory,
live between 3 hospitals, I'm just saying.
so you potentially licking your lips here. But in reality, if that was to, let's say, logistically take place, would that even mean there was anything left for the people or for general? I mean, if we actually went that route, would it actually be possible to do that?
Well, it's tricky because they accept, even in the court judgment, they accept that the grid is a grid.
Yes.
That you can't simply turn places on and off because they're interconnected.
They're all connected, yeah.
And so it says very specifically that where required, individual solutions need to be found. And that just, I mean, that straight out is now you're looking at generators. So now the government has to go out and buy, let's say, for the 30,000 schools alone, 30,000 generators at, what, 10 grand a piece? That's 300 million.
No.
Then
your running costs.
Then
No,
you've got to
my friend,
secure them.
I'm not going to
yes,
say,
that's true.
I'm going to fault you right there. At probably about 25 grand a generator.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, because again, this feels like we're wrapping this up in one big deal that presents a financial opportunity more than a solution for the people. When we speak about kind of giving that power back to the people in this localized way, here is an opportunity to find what those solutions are in a localized way. What does that school need? How does it fit into its community? There is possibly an opportunity here. Is this going to force them to look for a different way of dealing with this problem? Now that we've got this court judgment, is that going to change the way government has to respond?
No, I don't think so. I don't think in practice, because, as you say, let's say there's R1 billion at stake here. Plus, they're supplying all the petrol or the diesel to all of those schools. So you've got the supply chain management. It's a long and complex thing.
Yeah.
They are going to go to court to challenge this. In fact, there's a really good chance that this just goes all the way to the Constitutional Court. partly because they needed to, because they want to argue that they have a plan and they must be allowed to implement their plan, that the courts can't impose a plan on them. So that'll be one thing. The other thing is just to kick the can down the road and keep the clock ticking in the hopes that they can bring something online that'll solve the problem before they have to solve the problem this way. Because if they have to solve the problem this way, I mean, look, there's R1 billion floating unused from an EPL soccer team.
Again, Roy, I'm going to have to correct you. Probably about 200 million left by now.
But yeah, they'd have to find the money. They'd have to create this whole program
A
to
new
do
budget,
it. And that would detract. That would take money away and time away from actually fixing the main problem.
And our Minister of Electricity is saying, please, give me the budget, and I will do it. How do you feel? How do you feel? Do you live in an area that's affected? Have you got hospitals, schools around you? What do you think is the right way forward when we don't seemingly have enough pieces on the board? How do we get to that end game? Let us know how you feel. 063-408-8863. How does the news affect you?
If only the pains of South Africa were easily cured, just like Actipatch does that for you when it comes to chronic pain. So it is time to start living without the fear of chronic pain and stopping you at every turn. Of course, it can't happen now. Actipatch is a new and clinically proven treatment in the fight against chronic pain. They gave 20 lucky viewers the chance to win an Actipatch device by answering the competition question, and that was, do you suffer from any joint or muscle pain, and do you know what the cause is? Today, I'm super excited to announce our final 2 winners on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So congratulations to these incredible individuals who got vulnerable with us and shared. Now, let's start with Catherine Everton. Catherine said, I suffer from fibromyalgia and arthritis. I had a back operation and still suffer from pain in the back, shoulders, and down the legs. Hashtag Actipatch. Hashtag long-lasting pain relief. Thank you so much, Catherine, and we do appreciate that. But honestly, fibromyalgia is something that affects so many different people, and I'm glad that you could come forward. Now, Bulandi is saying this one, I suffer from muscle pains and swollen feet due to working 12-hour shifts 5 times a week. I might be required to work on Saturdays too. The metal industry is no joke, fam. Hashtag Actipatch, hashtag long-lasting pain relief. You know what? You are fantastic. Basically, you are made of steel because you work so hard for us. Now, congratulations to all 20 of our lucky winners, including those 2. Your best days are ahead as you say goodbye to chronic pain.
Whenever you have something really cold and then you get this short, sharp kind of sensation, that's sensitivity. It can get worse. The problem is not going to go away by itself. I always recommend Sensodyne. It's specially designed to care for their sensitivity. And I've had people coming back to me saying it's made a difference. It works.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, we are back capping the latest newspaper trends, and it is a little bewildering at the start of the brand new week, which is why we brought in our news editor-in-chief, the head of the headlines. Roy Simpson is back to help us understand the implications. What does it mean to us? But please join the conversation if you can and weigh in. 063-408-8863.
Yeah, now there was some crazy talk happening last week, I believe, and something I want to talk to Mzansi about. Not all news stories are doom and gloom, right? Now, one of the big stories last week was this introduction of new coins and banknotes. The South African Reserve Bank says the new design and enhanced security features utilize the latest technology advancements to protect the integrity of our currency. This sounds fantastic, Roy. Are we buying this?
Yes, we are.
We don't have a choice, I don't think.
I think that's the thing, and we're going to buy stuff with it.
Yeah.
The new series is actually quite nice. It's really cool. It starts out with a 10-cent piece that has the Cape honeybee on.
Oh, nice.
Which I really like. If you've ever seen these documentaries about how fundamentally dependent on bees the entire ecology is,
For sure.
it's really cool to have it recognized
actually.
at last.
I'm there for that. Nice. Okay.
And then we work through the series. A lot of the other the sort of face pictures we'll be familiar with. But I think that the central question is, like, did we need to change?
Yeah, why?
It's always good to change, not just to kind of keep things looking pretty.
Yeah.
And particularly the new banknotes are meant to have deeper hues and basically be prettier notes, but also for security purposes. So according to the South African Reserve Bank, we have an incidence of about, I think they said 3 in a million notes are counterfeit.
3 in a million?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's because we have all these security features.
Yeah.
If you look on the notes, you'll see down the middle there, those shiny bits, the numbers themselves, if you tilt them, they change color. There's micro
quite a
printing.
thing,
It's really, it's a complex item that you're holding in your hand, which makes it difficult to counterfeit. Other countries that have lagged behind, and interestingly, the United States is one of these. The United States did very little to up the security of their actual banknotes, to the point where it's believed that about, I think it's 1 in 10,000 is counterfeit.
That's terrifying, yeah.
And that's particularly the $20.
And I suppose as a currency that's so widely used as well,
Globally,
I suppose it does open that gate.
Yes.
Really cool, and as long as Tata Madiba's face is represented, I think all of us feel quite proud about it. But I love the fact, so when we have a money shower on the bed, white hues, and we do that when we get paid. That's how we work.
The other thing I like is that the babies are on it as well. It's families that are on the notes.
Okay.
So it's warmer, it's more us. I like it.
And we are allowed, like, positive affirmations in this crazy world.
Yes.
You're okay. It's okay to be positive about something that involves money and your nationality. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Speaking of money
Yes.
and your nationality, of course, Britain's King Charles III officially crowned on Saturday with much fanfare. I'm of two minds. Half of my family is English, and it was beautiful to feel my kids kind of that wonder in seeing how this was all playing out. But I sat there at my ripe old age, just looking at the size of a diamond, looking at the concentration of wealth, and possibly a disconnect between, I don't know, we are no longer subjects, but many parts of the world are. But there is a different narrative at play here when it comes to the royal family that's, yes, has had a lot of headlines regarding the family itself, the firm, how that's broken down, and how Hollywood has kind of gotten hold of that. But culturally, is the monarchy still as relevant as it was positioned in the press? Where did your news mind settle when looking at that concentration of wealth? Yes, that could probably clear African debt in literally one transaction, because it feels like a lot of that came from Africa. How did you feel watching the spectacle play out?
Well, a lot of it did come from Africa. It was nice to see our jewels get an airing.
Yes.
To see our diamonds on display.
Whose jewels are they actually?
Absolutely ours. A lot of that stuff is the Cullinan diamond, just the one diamond. That was very much ours. But, you know, there's a Koh-i-Noor diamond from India. It is a display of the accumulation of wealth through imperialism, one at the barrel of a gun. And I think that perception is much more common around. I was looking for polls and things like that. I had a beautiful experience with the coronation. I sort of forgot it was happening, got a reminder, turned on, in time to see Pretty Yende deliver
just
her piece, and then I
deliver.
turned it off.
Yeah.
I got the best part. so, I mean, there was a connection, there was a South African connection, but I think watching the polls and looking just at predominantly sort of white internet-based polls, to be quite frank, even there was only about 30% traction. I think we don't care at all, really, and I think that in the UK as well, judging by what's happening there, it's also dwindling, not as fast as you would expect, though. But no, I think it's an obsolete institution.
Tough job for King Charles, more of the same?
Yeah, he's got to navigate the relevance of this institution. I think in his hands lies whether there's another billion rand coronation at taxpayers' expense, or whether they need to hive off and form a private company or something. This is in his hands. Somehow, under Queen Elizabeth II, it was, this is a cultural icon, even a global one, and we'll keep it going. Now, maybe it's done here.
Maybe it's done, maybe Mzansi UK, or maybe you don't. Let us know, though, and come through on our socials and give us your opinion on this. Is it something that even matters in this day and age? Is it something that's relevant? And, of course, we're going to tackle some more headlines in just a bit, so don't go anywhere. Roy's standing by.
If you like winning prizes valued at 1,000 Rand, you've got game, and game's got you. So in celebration of their 53rd birthday this year, I've invited Ryle to chat, as well as ensure that the South African retail giant is properly celebrated. Game wants to celebrate with you an exclusive chance to win a 1,000 Rand shopping voucher, and this is how it goes.
Oh, yes. Now, this is how you enter. It's very easy. Simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso social pages. And here's the scenario, right? Now, it's an hour before your party, and you realize there's no snacks. What do you do? All right, you got four options. A, you call a friend, okay? B, you just order in. C, who needs snacks anyway? Or D, stop, collaborate, and make a plan.
Can C just be taken off there because snacks are vital? And
Yes, let's just answer the question and say yes, everyone needs snacks.
C, take it off the
Yeah,
table.
what would you do, bro?
Well, stop, collaborate, and make a plan.
Okay, nice, I like that.
Because I know for a fact that around the corner from my place, I know there's a game. And you understand what I'm saying? So I don't need to be gone for too long. I can just go shushu, game, and then because game's got me and I got game, and then you hoy quickly and you do your thing. And
So
also,
that gives me a lot of confidence because my option was call a friend, and the friend would have been you. So I would have called you, and
you
would
call
have,
me,
you
then
would've-
I will go to my game.
to your ga- Okay,
You
no, we
understand what I'm
sorted
saying?
then. All right, so two options work here for
Yes,
us.
it does. And, I mean, look, yes, you can order in, I get, but I think stop, collaborate, and make a plan. I think the
like that.
collaboration thing is quite important. So that's what we would do.
Yeah,
right?
it just sounds cool. Like, we just stop, collaborate. Anything can happen from there on. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's exciting. So, I mean, just tell us which option you'll choose and how you'll solve the problem using #GotGame. The competition does close tonight at midnight. I know I haven't given you a lot of time, but it's okay. You'll be there. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Don't forget that.
Yes, they can indeed. You saw the options, you saw what we were looking at, but don't forget, you can also compare prices with Game's Price Beat Promise. Yes, and that offers a 10% refund on the difference in price on any item that you've purchased. So if you find it cheaper at any competitor within 21 days of your purchase, you are guaranteed a price beat on that item. How cool is that?
That's
unbelievable.
All right, so store opening hours, in case you're wondering. Monday to Friday, 9 to 6. Saturday from 9 to 5. And Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 4. Remember, you've got game, and game's got you.
Nice.
Oh, you can make my day.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. We are back with our look at the major news stories of the week. We've covered what's been going, well, partly what's been going on in our neck of the woods. Now let's turn to an international view, and our news editor, Roy Simpson, is back with us to help us understand some of these major headlines. And thank you so much to you guys at home for weighing in.
Thank you so much. And you have been weighing in, and we've got some incredible comments already. Just earlier, we were chatting about the new currency, the new bills that are potentially coming out. Money, 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 money. And we want to hear what you have to say about it. And of course, you had so many comments coming through. This one I want to read out from Gary Orkamp, and he's an OG. He's always got something to say. He says, I haven't seen any of them yet, and he's obviously referring to the new notes. They should have added a 500 Rand note. My wallet isn't big enough to hold all the cash needed when going grocery shopping.
That's why you have bags, man. You have bags.
I just definitely don't want it to turn into that situation where you're walking around with a wheelbarrow. So, you know what I mean? The inflation starts to change, things go crazy.
It does beg the question, though, but like, does it have anything to do with the value of our currency in this equation? Because my natural thing is to want to jump to that.
No,
surely when you start introducing 500 Rand notes, you're in trouble.
if they had introduced a 500 Rand note, that would have been about the currency and its value.
Yeah.
They haven't. That's a deliberate, it might even just be a deliberate communication, a deliberate signal to say, no, the currency is doing fine.
Okay.
I mean, Gary's right in a way. Really, you go and you do small shopping, 200 Rand isn't enough. The joke used to be, there's a leopard on it because you never see them. What would you put on a 500?
Oh, gosh.
Something really, really fast. Faster than a cheetah because it'll come and go.
And something that's hardly seen, like
hippo.
a Daker. A little Daker, the unsung hero. I absolutely love that. So please keep those comments coming. What does it mean to you? And have you seen any of the new money yet? We'd absolutely love to see it in reality. This doesn't quite feel like reality, not for a while now. Let's turn our international gaze to, well, we normally say Ukraine, but now we head to the Kremlin. And I think this is a big thing, okay? We reported on this last week. We took a look at the drone explosion. Okay, explosion, look at that, that happened just above the Kremlin. Up until now, the war between Russia and Ukraine has largely been very localized about traditional armed conflict inside the Ukraine. And this attack, obviously, literally in the heart of Moscow, variously blamed on the Ukraine, other forces in Russia opposed to Vladimir Putin and to the Americans, or just a 15-year-old kid just going crazy.
Hacking something.
This is something I've noticed even prior to this attack. I mean, there was this conversation about the first drone attack that was shot, the drone that was shot down in the middle of the ocean, trying to figure out who does it come from, who's controlling the drone. Is this where warfare is going? Because it seems like it's just a blame game once again. Who did this? Was it the Americans? Was it Ukraine?
No. This is classic. This is spy versus spy. We have no idea on the ground. And in fact, people in high echelons also have no idea. You must remember that the deception is fundamental to the art of war. That's the idea. You try and win by creating conditions
Don't look at the mouth,
for
look at the hands.
that don't necessarily require you to commit your troops. And now we have this new technology, and as you say, it's well accessible. The drones we're looking at in this footage are off-the-shelf drones. You can hop on Alibaba,
not some
Wish, something like that.
service
He is right. Could have been flying this one.
So it is difficult to discern, and this is where everybody hops on and pushes their agenda. It is absolutely in NATO and Ukraine's interest to create the idea that this could be an insider job, that this could be a fight by Putin enemies within Russia, for example. So you sow that narrative. Now there's doubt. That might be true. Equally, the Kremlin, particularly Vladimir Putin himself, is saying, oh, this is orchestrated absolutely directly from Washington. Look at the nature of the drone technology.
Who benefits the most here? Does this give, in terms of Putin, just let's run that rabbit hole down to its conclusion. If they had to stage this themselves, does this give them a PR tool in where we are in the current? Who wins from something like this? Or do you think it's a random thing that they haven't discerned who's actually, or they aren't willing to say who actually did it?
I think it's a random thing in the sense that the Kremlin, for example, projects power. Putin projects power. That is how he stays in power. as soon as he's perceived as weak, then his power base becomes weak. So it doesn't work for him to create this false flag event where he's shown to not be able to defend the Kremlin.
His own house.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. So we don't know. And the thing is that it highlights for us from outside, because sometimes the war just drifts. We don't really think about it for a while. We've got our own issues to deal
denial,
with. Yeah, that as well. But the end result of this is that it's back on the agenda. And I think what it shows is that there is a lot of concentrated propaganda around this war. This has come out. Suddenly there's this massive flurry. We're seeing it on every network. Yeah. And man, ultimately, when you get down to the way this war is playing out, this war of attrition, it's the arms manufacturers who win. You know?
As is generally
Just like it has been in the past.
And the young men, the boys, continue to die. The girls, the young women, continue to die every day. I'm thinking it's only a matter of time before we see Vladimir Putin naked top wrestling a bear again. Showing strength. I feel for his poor security guards that he's going to go and do judo with for the next 5 days. Let us know how these things affect you, even if it's on the other side of the world. How does it change your perception of your reality? 0634088863. The news is only the news because it affects you. Otherwise, why would be tracking it? So please let us know how you feel.
Oh, a mother's love is like no other. It's almost time to celebrate our moms and mom figures and show them just how much we appreciate all that they do for us. And fashion and beauty editor and resident amazing individual Knox Mafu is here to take us through some of her favorite beauty spoils that make for the perfect Mother's Day gifts. Knox, as always, I'm privileged to be in your company, number one. Number two is, I believe you got it from your mama.
Well, she is the prototype. I like to think that she is the prototype, so I'll take that.
Okay, so tell me about some of the fondest memories of your mom. I know that you're close.
We're very
close. I know that there are so many different things you can share about her, but like in a nutshell, let's try.
I think what I love about her is that like she's actually like my bestie in the sense that we get to do so much together, from spa days to lunches. She's pretty much a lady of leisure, so she kind of taught me like all the stuff that I love. So beauty and fashion, it's not by mistake. She's actually the one who led me to it.
These pictures that I'm seeing here, oh, you can tell.
Yes, she's the one.
That's Knox right there. Oh my word.
That's my girl.
Okay, well, let's talk about Mother's Day. Of course, this is a conundrum for so many. Because like, how do you reward or present somebody who has given you life with something special and thoughtful?
Yeah.
So this is the big challenge for you. Fragrances and scents, I mean, they're permeating, that smells so good under my nose over here. What are we looking at today?
So for me, it's like about finding a fragrance that will really speak to the essence of who your mother is. So I think I love the notes that you can get in so many fragrances that will help us. So I know that Alexa has an incredible, so Ellie Saab has an amazing fragrance.
I love Ellie.
And I love this because it's got like floral notes, a very more feminine kind of smell. And then of course we've got Flower Bomb, which is also kind of like from Victor and Rolf. And this is a little bit more different. It's a lot more punchier. But all of these kind of like speak to the essence. So you can smell these things. What reminds you about your mom? Spray it, give it a day, and then realize when you can come back. But of course, if you're someone who likes a gift set, which I think sometimes is the best way to go.
I also think a gift set, because you know, you don't want to just do one thing, because the thing about a gift set, okay, here's the hack, is that even if one of the products is not liked by the mom, there are other products in there.
To
and then it just looks like, oh, my baby!
You went to so much effort, but what I love about W Beauty is that they have such amazing gift sets. The fragrances are so incredible.
Okay, great.
But I know the Heartlight one is one of my favorite. I think I love the Bella Rose one. There's just a freshness to it that I really, really enjoy.
Wow.
So for me, it's like a taste of everything. So I would actually go for something like this because I know mom will love every kind of essence depending on where she's going. And then of course we've got other gift sets which are just great in terms of like...
good, eh? You don't even need to wrap them.
You don't, because look how great this is.
That's
Woody's has got you covered. We've got diffusers also, which are also great in terms of like a home treatment, a spa day at home. So diffusers are really great in that sense.
That's what I'm smelling. It smells so good.
Absolutely great. The studio.
Are there any other beauty products like above and beyond fragrances and scents that you'd recommend?
So for me, makeup is also a big one. That's another love language that you can use. So we've got Stella here. They've got this incredible kind of long-lasting lip color. It's really like great on the lips. It really stays for the whole day. And then of course a primer is also quite important before you put on your makeup, before you do the layers. and still again have got this one-step primer, which is absolutely incredible. And of course then the gift set, if you wanted to, you could try that also. But
good.
so many options. Makeup is such a good call, but you need to know who you're buying for.
That's correct.
I think you need to know who you're buying for.
Can we say, because I see the primer and it's very neutral.
Exactly.
So you're not looking at foundation or
Yes,
anything like that.
yes,
So
yes,
maybe
yes,
stay away
absolutely.
from things that need to be color matched.
Absolutely.
And go for the other
Oh my
aspects,
God,
right?
let's go shopping together. You're so ready.
I am, but I mean, I've learned from the best.
Yeah.
I've learned from Knox's mom. Anyway, but it's great. Thank you so much for the
Absolutely.
education. I
No,
think
of
what you've given
course.
us is, it's also, you can make it special. You can customize, you can personalize. I
Absolutely.
think with a Mother's Day gift, also add a note. So if you
Yes.
are going to say a fragrance, like, I know it sounds
Why
cheesy,
that
but like,
fragrance?
add something to it. Say, I got
Absolutely.
you the flower. You said that's
The flower bomb.
the
which
flower
is right
bomb,
here.
exactly, because you're
From
the bomb
Victor-
mom.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying, it
You
may
know,
sound
there's
cheesy,
so many
but you
options.
connect to it, which is so important. But Knox, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
If this has given you inspiration, I'm so happy because you can spoil mom with her favorite beauty products this Mother's Day, from fragrances to luxury home scents. I mean, I can smell them right now. Get the best for less with 25% off 2 selected beauty products until 14 May. Shop this offer at Woolworths, in store, online, and on the Woolies app. T's and C's apply.
Only you can make my day.
Think of all the ways that our mums care for us from day one, and for one day at least, we can show a dose of that same care in return. Each weekday from 8 to 19 May, a lucky mum will win 2,000 Rand, and your mum may stand a chance of being one of our 10 winners if entering by replying to the hashtag Panado Essay and hashtag A Dose of Care competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. Don't forget to include hashtag Panado Essay and hashtag A Dose of Care. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I think you can see the joy, the pride in my face as I get to sit down with our next guest right now. He is someone that South Africa knows well because of the work that he has done here on behalf of the South African people. International speaker and book author and just wonderful human being. Prem Rawat is in Cape Town as part of his world tour, and you have an opportunity to connect with him. So for over 5 decades now, Prem Rawat has been engaging audiences with his message ultimately of peace and hope. And during this time in Cape Town, Rawat will be working with gangs, with schools, with individuals to promote peace and encourage personal fulfillment. And he is here with us this morning to reconnect and have a chat about the world, this crazy world. Prem, thank you so much for making us a part of your Whistle Stop tour.
It's a pleasure.
I've got to ask, first of all, the last time I saw you, it was a different world.
Yes,
a very
it was.
different world, motivated by different emotions, by different realities. Now it feels like purpose is what's driving us. How are you in this new reality we find ourselves in?
Well, I am fine. I did see the change. I saw a big change because before COVID, the world really relied on itself. It was all its technology, all of this and that, and nothing bad will ever happen to us. Fires, yes, and floods, yes, and we need to do this and we need to do that. And then COVID hit. And nobody was ready for it.
No.
I mean, no one was ready for it. And it was such a slap across the face because the technology wasn't gonna help, nothing was gonna help. You had to wear a mask, you had to isolate, you had to stay home. And here's the kicker. So you bought a home and you were excited because this was going to be your next, your place where you could be. And you were told, don't leave it. And all of a sudden, you can't stand the thought of being at home, but you have to be. And so there were so many these contradictions everywhere, and humanity was caught in it. And I was in the midst of it, and guess what? I was traveling. And in 20, I came to South Africa. I was in Brazil. I was going everywhere I could, just narrowly missing the bands as well as I could, connecting with people. And still in that time, telling people, don't lose hope. Who you are is more than the sum of all of this that is problematic around you.
And therein lies the solution. We've become individuals again. We have,
Exactly.
the notion of peace and hope has changed for me. I used to think hope was a gift that you were given. It's something that you strive for. It's something that you foster and grow. Now, you've made this your life journey. Whether you had a choice in that or not, I often think to myself. But you've been able to connect with people on an emotional level in a way that few have. I know recently you read a chapter of your book, Hear Yourself, to 114,000 people. What is a moment of connection like that experienced? How do you feel when you are in that moment connecting on that level to so many people? Because it speaks to what we all want now, is that authentic, real connection.
Well, one thing I will have to say is that every morning that I wake up, I know I have a choice. I can do this or not do this.
I love that.
And I have to choose. I know I want to choose this. This is my choice. I want to talk about peace. And when this opportunity came to do a Guinness World Record, it was an amazing feeling because everybody was sitting there and yet everything went dead quiet just to hear what this book had to say. And it was an exhilarating moment because it is always incredible to talk about peace, to awaken the possibility that exists inside every single human being. I mean, whatever we see ourselves in the box that we see ourselves
the coding,
in.
yeah.
Yes, we're much bigger than that box. And we all are unjustly limiting ourselves to all of these things. This is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. But there's much more going on. And what's going on is your heart is crying out for peace. Your being is crying out to be fulfilled. That's what it's about.
It's almost like the world forced us to make this, to get to this gateway and go through it. Because it's almost like as a species, if we're going to get through this, we're going to need to make some fundamental changes. I won't even go into AI or any of that with you right now. But there is an opportunity now, because the world feels more polarized than ever before, that maybe the peace conversation has a different angle now, more power, more momentum behind it. Why is it so important for you to hear yourself, for you to drive this message of peace right now?
Because people are turning from all that is outside to they're starting to acknowledge that they exist too. and that they are a part of their solution. You know, the way I look at it is there's 2 days you don't have any control over. The day you were born and the day you're gonna die. And all the days in between, you have something to say about it. You can make a difference. And I think people are starting to understand from the COVID experience that what they sit there and think about is important.
Yeah.
And it impacts their life. And not only does it impact their life, it impacts other people's lives. And so, when the message of peace is brought forth to people, they now give it a year. Before it was like, no, it's never gonna happen.
In denial, yeah, for sure.
But now people are like, no, let me hear this. Let me hear the message of peace. Let me hear my potential, my life, my accomplishment for myself, not for this world.
I absolutely love that. As we have proven, I could literally sit with you for about 4 hours and continue this conversation as we have done in the past. You have given me what I needed to hear this morning in a personal journey. I've been struggling to explain this world as it is now to my son when weighing up all the fear. But there is strength in the individual. He is the solution to that problem, and all of us have that within us. Thank you so much for being that conduit. Thank you so much for investing so much time and resources financially and others in South Africa, because it has made a massive mark. I cannot wait to see the reaction on the people's faces as they get to connect with you and this movement that you've created. Prem, we absolutely love you on the show. Thank you so much for coming back to South Africa and making this a part of your global village. We love and appreciate you.
Really, it's always a pleasure. And the first time I came, I was 14 years old, 1972. I've been going at it, and here I am again to bring that message of hope. Because I have learned it doesn't all happen overnight, but it happens, and it is happening.
And we've just got to have the strength to see that through. We have Prem in our corner. The show is in your corner. There are people around you that want you to feel better, want you to succeed, want you to move into this beautiful new reality. And it starts with love, and it starts with that notion, a global notion of peace. Prem, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Absolutely inspiring over there, but let's get into your news headlines and your Feel Good Breakfast show. Starting nationally, Johannesburg's new mayor, Al-Jama'a Kabelo Kwamanda, says he's aware of the challenges faced by the residents of the city. In his first speech as mayor, he said his role was to prioritize improving the quality of service across all departments and entities. Kwamanda has in the past received numerous honors and medals for his works as a human rights defender and attorney. Amongst others, he received the Golden Key International Honor Society Award in 2009 and was recognized as one of the 200 young South Africans in 2018 by the Mail and Guardian. Now, some 900 SANDF members are to protect Eskom power stations around the country. The presidency says the soldiers will work with the South African Police Service in the prevention and combating of crime and maintenance and preservation of law and order. They are to focus specifically on sabotage, theft and other crimes that may threaten the functioning of power stations. Meanwhile, Eskom has announced that stage 6 load shedding would apply until further notice, adding that the chances were likely that it would continue for the rest of the week. On to international news. A gunman has shot and killed 8 people shopping at a mall near Dallas, Texas. People evacuated the mall as a man fired indiscriminately at them. A police officer on an unrelated call killed the gunman. Some of the victims were children. Meanwhile, 7 people were killed after a driver rammed into pedestrians in Brownsville, Texas yesterday. A male suspect is in custody as police suspect it may have been intentional as it occurred at a shelter for migrants. The Texas mall bloodbath was America's 199th gun massacre in 2023 alone. And a wealthy Nigerian politician, his wife and their middleman have been jailed for an organ trafficking plot after bringing a man to the UK from Lagos. Now, Senator Ike Egwedamadu, 60, and his wife Beatrice, 56, wanted a new kidney for their 25-year-old daughter Sonia. The Old Bailey in London heard. The pair and Dr. Obina Obeta, 50 years old, were previously convicted of conspiring to exploit the man. Ike Egwedamadu was sentenced to 9 years and 8 months, Obeta 10 years, and Beatrice Egwedamadu to 4 years. And now people in Cape Town and environs were extremely thrilled to spot one of the world's most recognized faces of survival and outdoor adventure, Bear Grylls, in the mother city. 48-year-old Grills is a British adventurer, writer, TV presenter, businessman, and motivational speaker. He addressed some 2,000 global entrepreneurs at the Global Leadership Conference in Cape Town, but none were more thrilled to bump into him than young members of the World Scouting Organization. As lucky as luck may have it, they found themselves on the same climb up Lion's Head when they met. At age 35, Grills was appointed as the Scout Association's youngest ever Chief Scout of the United Kingdom and overseas territories. And the youngsters were elated to meet their Chief Scout, who was most willing to pose for some pics with them. Grills became internationally known for his TV series Man vs. Wild, also for wilderness survival television series in the UK and US, such as Running Wild with Bear Grylls and The Island with Bear Grylls. Incidentally, his names are Edward Michael, but his older sister gave him the nickname Bear when he was only a week old, believe it or not. What a fantastic way to climb up Lion's Head. That's it for your news for now. Another update in 1 hour. It's time to get into your sport. Here's Ryle.
Yes, let's take a look at all the sporting action. Of course, this weekend has been insane. Let's start off with soccer news. Now, the gap between Man City and Arsenal at the top of the table remains just 1 point after both title contenders picked up wins. Now, City overcame Leeds 2-1, and that's thanks to Ilkay Gundogan, braced to open up a 4-point lead at the time, and that was before the Gunners claimed a 2-0 win over Newcastle. On top of this, Man United are feeling the pressure to hold on to the 4th spot. Now, this after Liverpool secured a 6th win in a row, beating Brentford 1-0. United lost by the same scoreline to West Ham, with the points difference between the two just 1, although United do have a game in hand. Now, there were also wins for Chelsea, Spurs, as well as Wolves. Well, sticking to soccer action right now and setting up an incredible Nedbank final. The Sekhukhune United team defeated Stellenbosch FC 4-3 on penalties, following a 0-0 draw in a Nedbank Cup semi-final match at the Dani Craven Stadium. Now, the win saw Babina Noka reach the Nedbank Cup final for the first time in the club's history, and they will now take on Orlando Pirates at Loftus in Pretoria on the 27th of May. Now, the tie ended 0-0 after 120 minutes before Sekhukhune edged out the hosts on spot kicks. Now, on Saturday, Orlando Pirates defeated Soweto rivals Kaizer Chiefs 2-1, and this thanks to an extra-time goal from Santile Mtetwa. Well, incredible action from the pitch of soccer, but we're moving over to rugby right now, and let me tell you, the championship has been incredible. The lineup for the United Rugby Championship semi-finals has been confirmed, with Dublin and Cape Town hosting games on Saturday, May the 13th. Now, defending champions, the Stormers will host Connacht in the first of the semi-finals after beating the Bulls 33-21. Now, Connacht surprised Ulster 15-10 in Belfast, and Leinster will take on Munster in the second semi-final after beating the Sharks 35-5. Now, Munster overcame the Glasgow Warriors 14-5, and the semi-final winners will meet in the grand final on Saturday, May the 27th, at the venue of the highest-ranked team of the two. Well, interesting stuff and definitely getting us excited, but the excitement continues. Now, this weekend saw Formula One action, and Max Verstappen was in a class of his own as he carved through the field to win the Miami Grand Prix from 9th place on the grid. Incredible stuff indeed. Now, Verstappen ran a long first stint on hard tires, putting 25 laps later than teammate Sergio Perez, rejoining a second behind and passing for the lead a lap later. Now, Fernando Alonso continued his superb season as well for Aston Martin to take his 4th podium finish in 5 races with an outstanding performance of his own. Now, Verstappen is now 14 points ahead of Perez in the Drivers' Championship standings. Well, interesting and exciting stuff indeed, but the excitement continues. We've got some more headlines for you right now. Here's the latest when it comes to traffic, and the G-Man has it all.
Yeah, the real excitement this morning, not in the sport, it's on the roads. Now, unfortunately, it is quite a lot to report on this morning. Let's start in the Mother City in Cape Town. There's congestion on the R300 northbound. That's at the N1 inbound ramp. Expect delays, and please allow for more travel time if you can. Saying in Cape Town, congestion on the N7 southbound. That's at the N1 inbound ramp as well. Use an alternative route to avoid those delays. They'll start building now. And then moving up north to Pretoria, there is a stationary vehicle on another hot hotspot in the N1 southbound at Atterbury Road. Left lane is blocked. You know there are going to be massive delays. Please approach the area with caution. Coming back down to the mother city in Belleville, this has just come in. There has unfortunately been a multi-vehicle accident on the N1 inbound around the Old Oak Road. Off-ramp, 2 lanes are now blocked. You're going to have to allow for much more travel time this morning, or if you can, use an alternate route. Apologies for that, but that's where we leave our traffic. Let's get into the weather. Well, we are well versed in our own fire season. Let's see how that looks up north. Alberta has declared a state of emergency. That was after wildfires spread across the western Canadian province, consuming dwellings and driving some 25,000 people from their homes. Now, faced with more than 100 wildfires, Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith called the situation, quote, unprecedented. Residents of Edson, a town of more than 8,000, were told to leave immediately, as many of their fires are now burning out of control, fanned by very strong winds. And firefighting helicopters and air tankers have been brought in, and the federal government has now offered assistance from Ottawa. An Edmonton Expo Centre is accommodating more than 1,000 evacuees, and in the town of High Level on Ice Rink, being turned into a temporary shelter. Imagine that. And Alberta is a major oil-producing region, but so far oil facilities do not appear to be in immediate danger. But we stress the situation could change rapidly. Let's put a positive spin on our weather this morning and see what that looks like in your neck of the woods. Thank you so much for all these beautiful contributions this morning. Carol from Houghton captured this gorgeous image of the sun from within her garden. Oh, I love the green of that part of the world. Stunning, Amanda. From St. James also shared her photo while on a morning walk. Absolutely beautiful. Get out there and enjoy that if you can. Margaret from Durb sent through her morning view of the sun on the horizon, rising over the hill. Beautiful. And then Maureen Bonetta from Yellow Sands in with her image of her exquisite view. That is how you start your day. Thank you so much. Please keep them coming. You can share your morning views on 063-408-8863. Right, let's see what temperatures you have in store for you in your neck of the woods. We start in Polokwane, 12 year low, going up to 21. Expect thunder showers. In fact, an 88% chance of thunder showers. And Mbombela, ranging between 17 and 22, with thunder showers expected there as well. Likewise, in Pretoria, where your low is 10, going up to 21 degrees. Johannesburg, 8 year low, going up to 19 with those thunder showers happening. Mahikeng also going to see the clouds and rain, 10 year low, going up to 22. Klerksdorp ranging between 11 and 21. Kimberley, 7 year low, going up to 24 degrees. Bloemfontein, slight chance of thunder showers as you start your day on 6 degrees, maxing out at 22. Richards Bay, you are definitely having rain today, 100% chance. And that's tempered the temperatures 17 and 24 your range. Pietermaritzburg expecting the inclement weather as you range between 12 and 21 degrees. Likewise, Durbs expect the rain and humidity, 18 your low, going up to 23. And Mthatha, 9 and 22. East London, high chance of rain with a low of 14, going up to 22 degrees. Craddock ranging between 8 and 24. 12 year low, going up to 23 with a slight chance of rain as well. George ranging between 11 and 22. The Mother City, 10 and 20. Moving inland to Worcester, your low 8, going up to 26 degrees today. Sutherland ranging between 7 and 21. And then Uppington, fairly moderate by your standards, 13 your low, going up to 29 degrees and no rain expected. As always, regardless of the weather, make sure it is a beautiful day, and we've got 2 hours left to try and make it so.
We will, actually. We're going to make it amazing. In fact, thanks to Graham for being a great sport doing weather and traffic. That was wonderful. Now, let's get inside the action.
Yes, let's do it. And we are here to remind you not to forget to catch the Insider SA tonight, where South African sports car racing driver Calvin van der Linde chats about his success as a Formula E racer.
We get an exclusive look into his home, as well as a look at all things motorsports at the headquarters of his current team. And you can see this right now. In fact, here's a little teaser.
Ooh, yeah.
Open up to out-of-this-world motor racing on the Insider SA this Saturday at 1 p.m. on S3 as Calvin van der Linde kicks on from victory in the 24 hours of Nürburgring to Formula E champion in the making.
We have up to 350 kilowatts, a huge amount in terms of horsepower. It's open cockpits. We're sitting very low to the ground. Pretty much a Formula One car in electric.
That's the Insider SA this Saturday at 1 p.m. on S3.
Did you see that garage?
Yeah, that guy's so cool. We had him on the show a couple of times, and he's fantastic. So it looks like a great show tonight.
It definitely does. So you need to make sure that you catch the Insider tonight on SABC3 at 6 p.m. We'll see you there. Vroom, vroom.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Okay.
Some days they shouldn't let us just do this. They shouldn't let only the boys run the show. Sorry, we might need you here today. No, we are going to try to be responsible right now.
We will.
Okay, and grown up. Why? Because we are talking about money. No, in fact, we're going to try and be kids because we are talking about money when it comes to our kids.
Boom,
And no
boom,
matter
boom.
what your philosophy or your parenting style is, I think we can all agree that we would like to raise our kids with a greater understanding and respect for money, because that situation can turn against them very quickly when they're grown up. And we want them to make wise decisions and grow into financially savvy and secure adults. Did you see how I was saying that to myself
Yes.
as I was reading those words? So we're going to have a little bit of fun with today's Our Money Matters discussion, and we are taking a closer look at how we can go about doing exactly that. How do we create a good financial culture, I suppose, within our kids? Okay, so before we look to our kids, let's unpack how we ourselves were as kids and what our relationship looks like when it comes to money when we were a young child and a teenager. Different for all of us because we represent three slightly different generations, possibly. No, we
Slightly.
don't. But it does beg the question because this is fundamental stuff. So I'm going to ask you, your relationship to money as a kid, is it something that still kind of hangs over you like a specter? Talk me through how you emotionally connect with money, because ultimately it is that.
Yeah, I think I still even keep that emotion with me to this day. I didn't have money, literally, and that is an emotion that is a driver, and it's something that like compels you to physically want to attain money. And for the biggest part of my life, it's been a big part of success is having money.
Wealth.
So I never had a good relationship with money because I never had it. But once I had it, I didn't really understand it because I had to work so hard for it that all I wanted to do was like hold on to it and keep it. Like this thing that you didn't really even understand at the time was like, do I just collect it? And like, how do I hold on to it? It was a weird relationship and a very difficult understanding for me as a kid.
How did you transcend that? Because you are the most mature of us all, I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I always lean on you when I need a little bit of like surety, you know?
The thing is that I think we all have like a bit of financial trauma from our parents. And that's exactly what happened to me. Financial trauma is actually a real thing. I think it's generational. Like you go to your pops and you say, hey, Dad, I want the new football boots because I want to play. And he's like, there's no money here. And I mean, bless him because he was stressed out.
Yeah.
And as soon as money came up, it was a trigger for him. So I think a lot of the money, my connection to money there was that feeling of, so how do I acquire it? And I think a lot of my drive, a lot like Ryle, was actually to get my own cash in some way. So even if I have to stock up all the 500ml bottles, trade them in.
100%.
The deposits, yeah.
The deposits to get something that I wanted. I think the ethic of working to get money of my own came from whenever I asked, there was a no
There was
answer.
nothing there, yeah. No, but that one was a simple answer. And what I loved about my mom, she was so practical about money. It was like, if I needed it,
Yes.
go and earn it. And then she would show me 5 ways.
There we
It was
go.
up to me to choose. But then the poor woman, when my bike broke, when I was doing
Yes.
paper rounds or whatever I was doing, would then have to come and lift me and thing on top of working a 12-hour day.
Oh.
But what I've realized, I've got this fail-safe that I think I can get out of any situation, no matter how tough financially,
Nice.
because I've seen her do it over and over and over and
Yes.
over and over with very little help. And that's the thing. I think for a lot of us, often that negative is the positive that allows us to transcend our situation. So this is a difficult one. From what age do you think it's appropriate to begin talking about money and the principles of money around spending and, of course, around saving? Because that's essentially when it needs to happen. When did you start that conversation?
You have to start early. And it doesn't have to be money itself. It could also be sort of like credits in the bank with your kids. So basically, if they want to have like game time or they want to do something.
Checks and
or-
balance.
So basically, it'll be like, okay, you wash the dishes. Let me give you like a little card. And this card, this is 20 minutes of gaming. And suddenly they understand the exchange of acquiring and stashing and then also using. And I think that's quite important. You don't have to talk to them about the financial stresses of your bond.
Yeah.
But what you can do is understand what saving is actually about. And I think it starts off with little ideas and cultures that you build in the home. And that's what I've been trying to do, is that they need to know what the exchange is like. That's all.
Completely, a value exchange, because our industry works off a value exchange. I
Definitely.
think all industries are becoming kind of like that. So now we have the opportunities now to right the wrongs of our past, the sins of the fathers. So
Oh, yeah.
what is that philosophy going to look like for you when given a blank slate of a child? I say that loosely.
Oh, yeah.
But how do you want that conversation to look?
I would want it to be a positive conversation,
Yeah.
one that inspires, one that draws positive affirmations, not something that results in always associating it with a no or you can't because of. So I wanted to almost instill some sort of a work ethic, like Carl says as
Yes.
well, and something that's fun at the same time. I don't want it to be this negative thing of like, oh, we have to talk about money. I want it to be a positive conversation.
Why is that? What was the lesson for you that got you reframing money in that way?
I don't know, man. I think, again, just the fact that, like, I didn't have that good connection with money. I didn't have that good association with it. It was a barrier for me, if anything else. It was an obstacle. It wasn't a thing you strive towards yet. So I think for me, it was never a place where I could even have that conversation. And that I think is so important, is to be able to have a good conversation about money.
Yeah.
How often does it actually happen?
Well, you tell you what, he's going to give you a little voucher. Okay?
Yes, I'll give you a little
A good conversation voucher card you can use at any time that you want.
There we go.
Bring it on. I love that.
The green economy has just been born inside the Wasty household. I absolutely love that. I think establishing that healthy financial, the set of habits, yes, the stuff that's instilled repeatedly, creating a positive attitude towards money is going to significantly help your kids towards achieving their financial security long term, and of course, the success later in life, because wealth is a part of that. It's undeniable. So if your kids are ready to open a bank account, which is like a tier-worthy thing for me, Nedbank's family banking platform gives you, as a family, an opportunity to organize your finances in a beautiful way to unlock bigger and better savings for big things like schooling. For instance, imagine they had a hand in paying their own schooling.
that'd be nice.
Massive savings. 50% off monthly fees for your spouse. Now I've got you interested. But you can check out, for all those details, visit nedbank.co.za. Some great advice. Thank you, guys.
You must be wondering how I got here, man. Enjoying Bomadi sushi, got fork and knife over bubbles of sparkling water. But I didn't know the changes, Joe. Because I chose Nedbank, the bank that gives you discount upon discount in this country. I'll call it a bank with benefits, eh? Yeah. Value guaranteed. Seriously? Seriously.
After that discussion, it is time for another one. And we love our discussions. We get deep so quickly on the Feel Good Breakfast Show. So we know in South Africa, the idea of a family unit is different to that of the Western world, if you think about it, which often has two parents in the household as opposed to the average South African predominantly being taken care of by grandparents or even a single parent. This at the base, excluding blended families and growing range in what the family looks like, we want to kind of step onto something that's so important, and the family dynamics, especially in a changing world.
Completely. So this morning we thought we'd look through that lens at some of the different ways to define a family in 2023 with registered counsellor and friend of the show, Sadia Southgate. Sadia, this is an interesting space to work on. And I'm going to say it's a safe space for now. Everyone approaches this with a certain amount of bias, and I think Carl and I are often counseling each other to just transcend and take a step back because everyone is triggered. And when it comes to the most personal space, our family space, this dynamic has changed so radically. In your space, how do you now define a family? What is that tie that binds, that can take that label as being a family?
Yeah, definitely. I think that for me, how I would define family is to consist of a father, a mother, and a child living or rather residing together. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a good definition, definitely. But of course, there are different families out there. In fact, I chatted to somebody who lived at a commune, and that was their family unit because all the other family members were in other countries. So how do we redefine what that family is in terms of definition? I mean, there's so many others.
Definitely. And I think a lot of the time we're trying to find and fit in what the right definition is.
To code it.
So and kind of put the label on it. But the most important thing is that for every family, there's a different meaning to it. So it's important to rather navigate through what family is for that individual and for that particular family and for another. And different doesn't mean wrong.
But exactly. Because the role is where the kind of tire touches the tar, so to speak, and that's where it all plays out. So it's who's playing that role of the father, the archetypal, whatever you need from that. What kind of role is the mother figure playing in that space, and what role is the child playing in that space? And if you can be clear about communicating that within your little family dynamic, that's where it starts to click. So how do you focus on those roles within this very different looking family setup? How do we as a family approach a positive kind of click?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that there are often different roles that is instigated within the family, but it's what we look at, like the permissive role as well as you know, perhaps the mom will even be the one that avoids the conflict because they want to keep the peace.
For sure.
And then you get the authoritative role as well. It's the ones that set the rules and the ones that comes up more with solutions with the child as well. And then what we call authoritarian. So this is the parent that is a lot more strict. But in overall, we look at what we call Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So as parents, whether it's the father, the mother, or whoever it may be in that sense, because we know that sometimes grandparents is single parent households as well. So there's all of those dynamics that we look at, but ultimately we look at the basic needs of the child, whether that be shelter, food, support, the safety, the sense of belonging that we want to create really together as a family.
I love that. That's the South African model.
Yes.
We start with the child, and then we grow from there.
And
I love that.
we have to do that because, you know, there are some households where there are a number of different adults in the house and the kid. So you said authoritarian. Like, who takes the authority in that way? Because let's just say the one person has a different upbringing and a different way of dealing with a kid. Then the other person has a completely different way. And then they struggle, but the kid is the one that's actually is not benefiting in that scenario. So how do you think one would navigate that particular scenario? I mean, I know you can't tell every South African adult to, you know, get mature and chill out and think about the kid, but in those spaces, you know, are there ways, especially sitting down with a registered counsellor such as yourself, to try and build the proper relationship structure in the household so the kid doesn't feel that struggle?
Yeah, definitely. That's a very good question. What comes to mind is also knowing that there are different personality temperaments that we're dealing with.
Yes.
So a lot of the time we try and take what we've learned from our families and try to then blend that in. And it's important that we don't just take everything from our past and bring it with us in our dynamic, but it's important that as a couple we sit down, who is the one that maybe is better with dealing, for example, the finances, the one is dealing with the kids. So it's looking at what each other's strengths are rather than focusing on each other's weaknesses.
Nice.
How do we get, and I absolutely love that. I suppose being relatively newly married and looking through life from a completely different collective space now, the personal growth has been amazing. Some of it's been very difficult because there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
It's like, this is it. We've got to get ourselves right. We've got to sort this stuff out. And it's been a process of hard work. Luckily, I've got experts like this to tap into. But for that couple that are at that point now, where they are ready to cross that verge and stop acting out, stop being a slave to their own baggage from their own childhood and move forward to support the growth of that child, how does that conversation begin for the couple, for that, however they look in this modern context? How do we start that conversation?
Yeah. The first point I would suggest is to acknowledge that there is something to deal with.
Okay.
Because a lot of the times we don't acknowledge, hey, this is something that's maybe causing, yes, it's causing conflict, because the reality is children are watching. So if we're not managing that family dynamic effectively, in essence, what's going to happen, the child is going to take that and interact that out with their peers and interactions that they have. So it's important to firstly acknowledge that there is something to deal with.
I love that. And the crazy thing with kids is all of their perception is there.
Yeah.
They just don't have the context, the language to translate what they are seeing, but they see the truth, whether you're telling it to them or not. And their little minds get broken when you lie and they see a different scenario playing out. So being truthful with yourself and each other is possibly where that conversation absolutely begins. But we're going to take it a step further. We ain't going nowhere.
Oh, no.
We'd love to hear from you.
063-408-8863. Don't be shy. If you'd like to jump in with a question for Sadia or the panel, please feel free. We're here to answer whatever questions that you may have. And we'll be back with how the family unit has changed in 2023 in the next couple of minutes. Stay there.
Catch Expresso this May as we highlight the importance of feminine hygiene, proudly brought to you by GynaGuard, who are also offering 10 Expresso viewers a chance to win their own hamper full of a comprehensive range of GynaGuard feminine hygiene products to the value of 1,000 Rand. Simply reply to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages using hashtag GynaGuard and hashtag #FreeToJustBe. That's this May from the 1st to the 31st right here on Expresso. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining what is proving to be a thrilling conversation because it speaks to the future. And we as South Africans are undoubtedly a completely unique people with a unique makeup of what a family structure actually looks like. And registered counsellor Sadia Southgate has very thankfully been helping us try to establish what that is, but more importantly, how we activate that, how we clearly define those roles and make the most of it for our little ones.
We have to. And let's get some voice notes in. We did ask for them and you delivered. Thank you. Nikita, you're up first.
Good morning, Expresso family. Speaking to Nikita. My family tradition has changed a lot. From the woman doing everything to the man being the king of the home. My husband actually helps a lot. He does things that a woman's supposed to do. So I feel that it has changed, and with time evolving and our generation, we feel like everyone should be a part of taking care of the home, not only the woman.
100%. Okay, we're going to jump on that because that almost speaks to a cultural shift, a perception of what that archetypal male-female role is. We wanted another voice note, and a doctor is weighing in. Let's hear from Dr. Jasmine.
Morning, Expresso. I just want to say thanks for an amazing show. So I'm away at a congress today. I'm a medical doctor, and my husband is at home with the kids. I have a 1-year-old son and a 6-year-old son. So hashtag super dad, and well done to all those dads who allow their wives to follow their dreams.
I love it, man.
Do you feel like there's a narrative here? And I think let's just touch on that. You know, there were 2 voice notes that spoke to it. Society, we have to go into this. Gender roles. We live in South Africa that has a lot of cultural dynamics, all right, as well as social dynamics. And the cultural dynamics and the social dynamics, they often overlap because there are cultures where traditionally the man must lead and the woman must be at home. That is changing significantly in 2023. So with those 2 voice notes, how do we actually get into this change and make sure that the change is a smooth one? Because there are still people who are very resistant to that idea.
There's generations of...
That's correct. So there's an older generation that is not, dare I say the word, woke. And you get a younger generation who's saying, I don't care, you know, I can be a guy and I'm going to do the cooking, cleaning and stay at home. So attacking this in 2023 in South Africa, where do we start with regard to making sure that this gender shift and this gender awareness, I should say, is properly taken care of in the home?
Yeah, I think it, for me, excuse me, for me it would be important to discuss not just the family dynamics as a whole, but as how do each individual, how are they bringing their part within the home? Because we don't want to have the wife steering 100%, you know, of the workload financially, seeing to the kids when the wife gets home, but it's understanding that it's okay for the wife. Again, it comes down to if that is her strength, if she wants to, you know, pursue her dreams and her goals as the husband, we support that. So, I mean, I have first-hand experience of that when my husband is supporting my dream, but the most important thing is when it comes down to burnout as well, because sometimes if the load rests too much on one partner, there's a lack of balance. So it's also important for the wife then to voice, hey, I'm okay with you not doing this, and then I'm okay with you doing this, but could you then help me with this? Could you do this? So that open communication and clear communication, discussing your expectations as well is very important.
Yeah. Just talk. Just talk. If you are in a relationship, it's a two-way flow of communication. That's the joy of being in a relationship, is you've got someone in your corner. But you have a baseline of absolute authenticity, otherwise it's going to bubble under all of the baggage you're going to carry over from past generations. But you have an opportunity as a couple, whatever that couple looks like, as a family unit to redefine, to change the game. But it does require absolute authenticity because your kids will see through it in a second. So this is where you get the chance to talk about what you want to achieve, what you want your family to look like, and go about achieving that together. You're amazing. Thank you so, so much. She'll be back next Tuesday, I have a feeling.
Of course, definitely. But I mean, let's talk about another couple, Ryle and Loyiso.
Yep. Not right now. And of course, doing something special. We're going to keep the amazingness going, of course, and the man himself is here. I'm really celebrating, and you don't even know why, but let me tell you why. Hailing from the Eastern Cape, Loyiso is a singer, a songwriter, and a producer, and most would know him for his appearance on The Idol South Africa when he was just 16 years old. Now, he wields the kind of voice that instantly tugs at heartstrings, and it shines anywhere and literally everywhere that he goes. And on top of this, also recently had his debut EP, Seasons, and it is something that we all got hyped for. But to get you hyped up, listen to this.
Take a little time if you gotta go. This is what it feels like.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big feel-good welcome for Loiso! Yeah! Yes! Woo!
Where's he?
Yeah, are you, bro? What's happening, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be back here, man. The team is amazing. The energy is amazing. Like, I know it's early, but like, I'm energetic and I'm excited.
And if anyone was asleep, they are no longer asleep because you're here. And like you said, your energy is incredible. We can feel it. And I think we felt it from day one, dude. I mean, for people that have literally been living under a rock, let's just take it back again a moment because what you did when you broke out into the scene was incredible. You've moved people. But let's just take it back to that moment. What even got you into music? What got you sharing this incredible gift you've been blessed with? And what got you into that space in the scene?
I think, man, it's just I've always loved music. Growing up, I used to watch Dreamgirls. My sister was a big music lover. She had a CD of Jordan Sparks, and every time it starts, it's like footsteps. So there's a song called One Step at a Time.
Okay, yeah.
So every time that went on, and my sister used to play it like every weekend. So I would be like, okay, it's time. It's time for me
feel that
to
moment.
bust the moves. To bust the moves. So it's like, I've always grown up around people. My family loves music. My grandfather and grandmother, they owned a church, actually. And I think music has always been part of my journey. And I've always been passionate about it. I've always been passionate about sharing this gift. It's always been so meaningful to me. So I think this platform is amazing for me to share it.
Yeah, and I think we're very grateful that you did that and you took that decision to share that voice because we've been absolutely loving it all the way up to the point where we were like begging for an album.
Yeah.
We were like, man, you're doing covers, you've got singles, everybody's like, this is incredible, but we want an album. And finally it came through, man. Talk to me about that album Seasons. It was incredible. It was received so well from your side. How did that feel, getting people to engage with your sound, with your album, bro?
Yeah. It's been beautiful. Making it, it's been like a 4-year journey.
Yeah.
Discovering myself. I thought it was ready, you know? I thought it was ready 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, I was like, why is nothing happening for me? Because I've been doing this my whole life.
You've been ready,
surely it's supposed to happen now.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, the universe and God works in like really mysterious ways. It's like, I thought that was the best I could get, but better things came every time. And it's like, if one thing doesn't work out, the other one is gonna work out. And it's like, I've always been so passionate and so like, my gut feeling has always been good. And I've always known what I want. So I think I needed to be patient. I needed to understand that this journey is not just gonna be a one that lasts for a year or two. It's gonna be one that's gonna last for years, and it's gonna heal people. It's gonna change people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's why I named it Seasons, because it's all the seasons of life and what people go through every day.
I love that. And I think so many people can resonate with that right now. Not only the downs, but the ups. And that's something we can celebrate. And I think you kind of represent that moment. This journey for you and what you kind of been through and where you are right now is something that I think Mzansi shares right now. So for today, I think this is a moment for us to celebrate your journey, and let's resonate with South Africa and do the exact same thing. So right now, we've got a song called What I Would Say. This is Loiso. This is the first time he's going to be performing out of many today. So don't go anywhere and sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride. Stage is yours, brother.
Let's go.
I came to dance. Wanna feel your fingers touching my skin. Don't think about it too much. I came to find all the visions that I've had in my dreams of holding you in my arms. What write these love songs. They can't seem to get the words right. They can't seem to get the feeling right. What do I say when you look at me the way you do? What do I pray for? I've been praying, I've been praying, I've been praying. What do I pray for? I've been praying, I've been praying, I've been praying. For you were in a movie scene, living in a Hollywood screen. Oh, I'd say I love you till the morning comes. I love you till my heart runs out of blood. No, I'd say, let me hold your baggage, let me take your little burdens off. That's what I would say. No, no, that's what I would say. Ooh, that's what I would say.
What just happened to Mzansi? I know you felt that. I know your emotions are moving right now. And that's the power of this incredible voice. That's what I'm talking about. Celebrating everything right now. And it doesn't stop there. Luisa's going to be here for another 2 performances. Don't go anywhere. Man, that was incredible, bro.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Whenever you have something really cold, and then you get this short, sharp kind of sensation, that's sensitivity. It can get worse. The problem is not going to go away by itself. I always recommend Sensodyne. It's specially designed to care for their sensitivity. And I've had people coming back to me saying it's made a difference. It works.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We missed you. It's a Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso here at S3, and we're continuing our conversation with registered councillor Sadia Southgate around the evolution of the family unit in South Africa and what it looks like, particularly for South Africans. We have to be contextual with our conversation. We do have a voice note to start you off first, and let's go into this one.
Strong
Almost
silent
there, yes.
Gotta
It's like
think before you speak.
It's like you can almost hear the words in your head. It's the words. The words are. I think what Roshan wanted to do is actually start us off with the conversation around.
Force us to think.
Yes, that's it. So South African family units are very different. We mentioned the social, cultural. We have a very unique country in that particular way. But let's talk about the pivots of how the country has sort of looked at a family, you know, we have a lot of single-parent homes, we mentioned, a lot of uncles and aunties looking after kids, a lot of grandparents. So if we look at that specifically, let's talk about those roles in a lot of ways and making sure that, I think a lot of people want to replace family roles. But sometimes if you're a grandparent, you're looking after this kid, and they're like, oh, no, I'm the parent of this child, but now I have to be a mother and a father. Like, do they have to, you know? Or is it just about guiding a mind to the future?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think you touched on just at the end is
Yes.
guiding the mind into the future.
Yes.
Because we understand that regardless of whether the grandparent wants to take on the role, the dynamic of being the sole parent, ultimately the child knows that this is my grandmother.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's important to actually have these conversations around the table, open and non-judgmental conversations with the kids, because a lot of the times we dismiss the kids and we make the decisions and place labels already on ourselves and the kids, and that in turn just kind of jeopardizes the whole journey of just building the connection.
Well, it's inauthentic. And I think, that, you know, maybe it's the South African way, but if you think in a single-parent household, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Because you've got continuity, which is the biggest thing for a child, that continuity of that connection and link. And then within that, it takes a village. I think like my guy friends shaped my personality as much as any other male figure. So those roles will be very transient and they will shift and change. I know, my poor wife that my guy friends had a hand in bringing him up. But I think there is something about that removing the judgment is such, because that's the past.
Yes.
Fear is the future. Now is practical. So let's see if you guys can weigh in with a practical application and your insights right now. So let's hear a couple of those voice notes.
Morning, Expresso team. My role changed in 2021 when my husband passed on. And now I have more responsibilities and I live alone. So it's been a challenge, but I'm getting there. Doing what needs to be done.
Wow. I'm so glad she said that last sentence, because that's the reality. It's not a choice.
No.
99% of the time in a South African context, it's dealing with the reality.
Wow. I think, thank you so much for your vulnerability and sharing that. I mean, that's exactly what we look for on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So we are here for you as well. We do have another voice note, I do believe, as well, to weigh in. Gertrude.
Good morning, Expresso team. This is Gertrude here. Gertrude Bentham.
Hi.
I think this is my first time that I'm on a WhatsApp voice note.
Well done.
And I hope that my message will come through. I like your topic. I just want to say that I raised my boys to be hands-on in the house, because one day when they are grown up, they need to be hands-on, helping their wives in their own homes also. So I groomed them to be this responsible young men, not only working for their family, but working within the household also, helping the woman. And also they must raise their children like I raised them, being responsible and hands-on. Thank you very much.
Well,
Gertrude, thank you. That first voice note as well, which is very, very impressive.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
Dropped a bomb with your first one. Well done. Absolutely loved it. When we look at the major disruptors, the negative influences, so that we can be aware, see the red flags and navigate them, what are the big monsters in this conversation? And we know that there's a lot of trauma in every family just about in South Africa, which is obviously going to have to put its hand up. But what is the disruptor in this flow?
There's three things that come to mind, and for adults as well, it's specifically work, because parents come home, they're overwhelmed, they're overworked, they're burnt out, and then it is trauma as well, so kind of like taking the past and then bringing it into the
Your
now.
baggage.
Yes, kind of just leaving it there. But the other thing is screen time, for both adults and kids.
Oh.
Screen time, which is a very different topic.
I mean, it's true.
Or is it? I mean, wow. It stands to reason, because that's been an issue in other areas. Any last advice, a mantra that you, in your own relationship, lean on? Something that you want to share?
Yes, definitely. I do want to say, again, it comes down to the kids.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing and acknowledging that children have a voice. So when we look at the kids as well, we know and understand that they go outside. If they don't get something within the family dynamic or within the home, they go outside to seek that validation. Yes. So it's important to also look to help the child find that validation within the home, because as you mentioned earlier on, we know the saying that it takes a village, to raise a child. So with that, we do want to make sure that all of those dynamics and those roles are kind of just cohesive and interlinked with each other. So that's important, making sure that there are open discussions with the kids, because the children also has a voice.
Sadia Southgate, registered counsellor, back on Expresso soon. Guarantee that. Thank you so much for being so open and for joining us in this conversation through family dynamics in your Feel Good Breakfast show. Let's chat to another family member, Raul, now.
Yes, family, let us carry on celebrating everything when it comes to family. And of course, one of the most important figures in our family, and that's obviously moms, right? Now, let me get some assistance here, because I know someone else that would love to celebrate and talk about mom is, of course, G-Man. So G-Man, I want to get in here and let's start spreading some inspiration to help pay acknowledgement to the beautiful women in our lives, and especially moms. Now, with Lynn chocolate, obviously you can see all these beautiful options around us. It is the finest, the most delicious chocolate in the world, and today we are getting you ready to spoil your mom with the Lindor range this Mother's Day. Oh, yes.
And we stress the word range. Range kind of undersells it, because there is a smorgasbord. We've got something for every personality, type, and taste. So whether it's a mom, a grandmother, an aunt, a friend, someone who's played that motherly role, that motherly figure, the matriarch in your ecosystem, we want to inspire you now to find the right selection that's going to make them feel so special. They need to understand the depth of the love, and sometimes chocolate is just the way to say it.
Chocolate definitely is that. And of course, Lindor's range is premium. It's exclusive. It is something that I call the VIP of chocolate. And for someone like your mom, she deserves this. This is the level of thank you that you want to give her. Now, something that's really standing out for me, G, is apart from all the incredible options that you already get in the range, this over here stands out for me the most. Now, this is a 200-gram option, and as you can see the difference on the side here, you notice that this is something that you can gift your mom just like this. You don't have to wrap it, so you don't have wrapping skills. Don't worry about it. Everything is on the box, and you can even personalize it by having a note on the side there. You can say a little special thank you to mom. You can put a name there, personalize this, and show her that you cared enough to put some thought into a gift as well.
I love it, and that you get a little taste of everything in that space. And I mean, I know this is like a gratuitous day where it's all like commercialized, but no. Your mom wants to feel special. Your mom wants to eat delicious things. She wants to get lovely fragrances, that sort of thing. And if you know what your mom loves, then give her that. And Lindor can also be the perfect addition to your Mother's Day gift to ramp it up to that next level, whether it's the flowers, the bottle of wine, anything that your mom really loves, you can just take to the next level because it's premium.
This is essentially the cherry on the top, or the chocolate on the top. Let's say that. Now, in the loving spirit of Mother's Day, we're going to be giving you the chance to win a fantastic Lindor hamper to the value of 1,000 Rand. That's a lot of good stuff. Now, all you got to do is simply head over to the Expresso Facebook or Instagram page and let us know how you will be spoiling your mom this Mother's Day with Lindor. Now, remember to use the hashtag Mom's Blissful Moment. And of course, your T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. What are you waiting for? It's time to say thank you. This is how. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso here in S3. We are still here with Loyiso, who will be performing for you a little bit later, but I feel I can't just say that news is coming up. It's very boring. Loyiso has a voice, so let's sing it in. All right, Graham is standing by with news. How would you sing us to news right now, Loyiso? All right.
It's your news with Greg.
That should be released. Wow. Okay, let's release Graham.
I now demand that every single day, recorded right now. Oh man, the perfect note to get into our national news. And of course, an energy expert says the court ruling that all public schools, clinics, hospitals and police stations that we reported on earlier and them being exempt from load shedding is not practically feasible. The Pretoria High Court announced the verdict this past Friday. The UDM and 18 other parties now have submitted the court application. The Minister of Public Enterprises now has 60 days to ensure that the institutions are exempted from load shedding. If this isn't possible, they must be provided with generators. And the energy analyst, Jose Amoleshe, in this case, says it's almost impossible to implement the court ruling, at least like this. Then, staying up north in Johannesburg, there is a new mayor. El Jama'a's Kabelo Gwamanda says he's aware of the challenges faced by the residents of his city. In his first speech as mayor, he said his role was to prioritize improving the quality of service across all departments and entities. And Gwamanda added that he has in the past received numerous honors and medals for his work as a human rights defender and attorney, which positions him perfectly. And amongst others, he received the Golden Key International Honor Society Award in 2009 and was recognized as one of the 200 young South Africans in 2018 by the Mail and Guardian. Good luck in your new charge, sir. Now we turn a wider gaze on the international news front. The warring parties in Sudan are still meeting in the Red Sea city of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia for talks. So international mediators have pressed the parties to end the conflict that has claimed hundreds of lives so far and sent tens of thousands of refugees fleeing abroad. Saudi Arabia and the US have welcomed the talks between the Sudanese army and its rival, the Rapid Support Forces. The Jeddah initiative is the first serious attempt to end the fighting that has crippled the Sudanese government and endangered the country's political transition following years of similar unrest. Now, a little further afield, a gunman has shot and killed 8 people shopping at a mall near Dallas, Texas in the US. People evacuated the mall as a man fired indiscriminately at them. A police officer on an unrelated call killed the gunman, and some of the victims were children. Meanwhile, 7 people were killed after a driver rammed into pedestrians in Brownsville in Texas yesterday. A male suspect is in custody as police suspect it may have been intentional as it occurred at a shelter for migrants. The Texas mall bloodbath was America's 199th gun massacre in 2023 alone. Now moving to Europe, the coronation of King Charles III on Saturday was a historic moment in many regards, but for opera singer and one of our proudest exports who still calls us home, Priti Yende, the moment had extra special significance. The South African soprano became the first African soloist invited to perform at a British coronation ceremony. So Westminster Abbey came alive with Yende's enthralling, captivating rendition of Sacred Fire, a piece written by composer Sarah Klaas for the occasion. And quoted, she was saying, "It's a dream come true." That was what she said afterwards. And Yende, in a stunning bright yellow Stephanie Rowland gown, cut a striking figure as she performed in the Abbey. She was singled out as one of the best-dressed guests at the ceremony and obviously received rapturous applause from fans on social media after her unbelievably stirring performance. It was an invitation from King Charles himself that brought Yende to perform at the historic occasion. So it's already making the right choices. Yende's illustrious career has seen her share the stage with some of the most distinguished musicians of her and other generations at major concerts across the globe. Yet her performance at the coronation ceremony stands out as probably her most momentous one. Priti, we love you and we are so proud of you. What a note to round off our news headlines. And of course, the road's now properly awake, so let's get you up to date with what's happening in the traffic with Raul.
Yes, thank you so much, G. It's time to take a look at the traffic for many of you heading out on the roads this morning, and for those in the Johannesburg area. Now, there's been an accident on the R21 northbound, now this after the OR Tambo interchange. Now, the left lane is closed, so please do approach this area and be careful out there. And again, anybody heading out on the roads, please do plan accordingly. Now, carrying on with our warnings this morning, if you're in the Germiston area, there's a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound. Now, this before Geldenhuys interchange, and the right shoulder is blocked. So please approach this area with caution. And another warning coming through for the Cape Town area. Now, there is congestion on the N7 southbound at Bosman's Dam. Now, this one is going to definitely allow you to expect delays. So if you are in the Bosman's Dam area, then please do heed this warning. And anybody heading out on the roads this morning, please buckle up, plan accordingly, and do stay safe. For now, though, it's time to head from the roads to the sky and see what's happening the latest when it comes to weather. Now, reporting on weather news this morning, the number of people known to have succumbed in the severe flooding and mudslides in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo has risen to some 200. Now, at least 2 villages at Lake Kivu were submerged when rivers burst their banks. Now, on the other side of Lake Kivu in neighboring Rwanda, at least 130 people have died as a result of floods and mudslides. Now, in Kenya, a truck driver crossing the Gulana Lulula causeway was dramatically saved from flash flood waters. Now, listen to this. The alarm was raised by worried onlookers, but thankfully, the aerial unit of local wildlife charity, the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, were close and flew their helicopter over the swirling waters, managing to save the driver. An incredible scene that you're looking at right now. But meanwhile, a yellow level 2 warning for disruptive rain resulting in localized flooding has been issued for the Highveld of Mpumalanga, the eastern parts of the Free State, the northwestern parts of KZN, the south coast and adjacent interior of KZN, as well as the northeastern coast and adjacent interior of the Eastern Cape. Well, we head over from our weather news to our sunrise views. Again, always putting a smile on our dial, and I can't thank you enough from Zanzi. Starting off for this 8 o'clock edition, we've got Bradley and his team sent through this beautiful image of the Waterberg Wildlife Rescue Sanctuary. Now, this one is along the pool area, and wow, it looks like a little slice of heaven that Bradley's in right now. A beautiful image nonetheless. I absolutely love it. Next up, we've got Fauzia Tobias, all the way from GQ Oberga, who shared her almost mystical image of the sun's glare across the seaside. I mean, wow, the ships in the distance, it's just amazing. What a beautiful perspective. Next up, we've got Amanda from False Bay and her breathtaking morning view of the False Bay area, of course. And it is a magnificent view indeed. I love the colors of the clouds, the stillness in the background. That is just majestic. Thank you so, so much. And then lastly, David from Potchefstroom and his image of the mountainous area surrounding a little dam or lake. I don't know exactly where in Potch this is, but it is beautiful. It's green. The rolling hills are just screaming out nature. Nzanzi, beautiful stuff today. I think you won, all of you. You won. Thank you for sending these incredible pictures in. 063-408-8863. Keep it coming and keep putting that smile on our dial. For now, though, let's take our last look at the temperatures across the country. Starting off in Polokwane, your day starts at a low of 12 up to 21. Wet conditions definitely expected. Much the same for Mbombela, 17 up to a high of 22 degrees. And Pretoria carries on with the wet conditions and thunder from 10 degrees all the way up to a max of 21. Johannesburg, similar conditions, very wet from 8 degrees up to only a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around South Africa and over to Mahikeng, where the thunder and wet conditions continue from 10 degrees all the way up to 22 degrees Celsius. Klerksdorp, very similar wet conditions with thunder from 11 all the way up to 21. Kimberley, you can expect a little bit less rainfall. 7 is your low up to a high of 24. And Bloemfontein brings the rain back from 6 all the way up to a high of 22 degrees. Carrying on around the coast now and over to Richards Bay, 100% guaranteed to get some rain from 17 up to 24 degrees for your max. Pietermaritzburg, a lot of rain coming through as well from 12 up to 21. Durban, much the same, not only rain but thunder too from 18 up to 23 degrees. And Mthatha, wet conditions continue from 9 up to a high of 22 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now over to East London, where the rain continues, and of course, let us pray it lands in those catchment areas. 14 up to a high of 22 degrees. Cradock sees the day starting at 8 up to 24. GQ Berga sees the day starting at 12 up to 23 with wet conditions continuing. And a little bit drier in George, your day starts at a low of 11 up to a high of 22 degrees. Over to the mother city now, and there's no wet weather expected there either. From 10, you go up to a high of 20 degrees Celsius. Worcester sees the day starting at 8 up to 26. Southern sunny skies expected from 7 up to 21 in Uppington, bringing the heat back from 13 up to a high of 29 degrees Celsius. Again, Mzansi, thank you for the incredible pictures. Thank you for putting a smile on our dial. And let me tell you, if that didn't do it, then this sure as hell will. Check it out.
Thanks a lot, Raul. So I just realized that local and lekker are two L's. Those L's start this man's name. Loyiso is here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and joining us, he's an absolute icon, signed to Republic Records, you know, just doing the most. In fact, the 7-track EP, I hope you've listened to it by now, because that means your life hasn't changed yet. Maybe you should do that today. You know, production names like Earwolf is one of them, Grammy Award-winning producer, Mr. Hudson, Stargate. When you mention those names so casually, I feel so good about our local scene and South African music. We are world-class. And then Seasons, 90 million streams, probably about 100 million streams by now. Also, I saw your face in New York. I'm just, there's so much.
Were you there?
I was there in New York. Yes, of course I was. I was right there. I mean, if you hold your phone close enough to your face, it's like you're there. That's where I saw it.
Wow.
But dude, look here, Seasons as an EP is such a beautiful body of work. I know it's a 7-track EP, but there's so many. There's something on it for everybody. That embodiment and all the streams. I mean, how are you feeling about what Seasons has done thus far?
It's amazing. It's like, I feel like it's nothing short of what I thought it would.
Yeah.
Even exceeded my expectation in terms of the reach that it's gotten so far. And it's still building. This is my first EP. This is my first body of work, so
yeah,
it's gonna be amazing.
Sorry, that's my favorite. I told him to play that song because that's one of my favorites.
Oh, okay, fine,
While I speak,
interrupt me.
I said, while
Interrupt
I speak
me.
to you, we speak as well. It just makes sense. It does.
Makes sense.
So also with regard to this label, I know there's a lot of hype around the label.
Yeah.
Do you know what gets to me? Is that how they say, oh, Justin Bieber's in the label, and you know, and this and Taylor Swift and you know, and people like mention all the names on the label. I like to say that those names are very privileged to be a part of a label that you're part of. I think we need to change the narrative in South Africa.
I love that.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They need to be grateful to have Loyiso.
They need to be praying every day.
That's
like,
it.
Loyiso's in my label, and I'm grateful for this, and it's like, I am amazing. So like,
you have to, and you have to be. Look, you have to back yourself. If that is one thing, back yourself. Now you're about to sing a song called "Run."
Yeah.
You know, when I hear songs called "Run," it's like running away from, you know, running away maybe to the sun. You know.
Yeah.
That particular song. Give us some motivation about why you wrote it and what you want it to mean to a listener who perhaps hasn't heard it yet.
Oh man, it's like trying to get to a place where you feel free and feel a sense of belonging, because some of the times you're like chilling in a place or being around people and it doesn't feel fulfilling.
Yeah.
Like I hate leaving a space with the feeling of, what, did they actually like me, or was I really funny, or they're just laughing at me because I'm famous? You know, like those things happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to feel free enough to be myself and not worry about what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
And this run is about finding a space that is free for you.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm free to listen to it now. This is Loyiso. He's going to blow your mind with Run. Also, I must note that on the keys is Q.
Yeah, let's go.
Very talented musician as well. I want to give you some love, Q. You've been amazing.
Yeah.
I think, you know, sometimes people don't give props to the band. I'm that guy, okay? I give props to the band.
I
so
love
Q,
that.
along with Loyiso, is going to give you this song called Run, Enjoy. But don't run away. Stay.
I just wanna run, 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 run. I'm gonna fly, gonna reach the sky. Take about the space and time. I just wanna run, run, run. wanna run, run, run. I'm gonna fly, gonna reach the sky, take up all the space and time. I just wanna run, 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 run. I'll run into the fire, leave all my things behind. I'll be the reasons why I'm never turning back. I wanna run, run into the sun. No, not the only one. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, 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 I'll run into the fire, leave all my things behind. I'll be the reason why I'm never turning back. I'll run into the fire, leave all my things behind. I'll be the reasons why I'm never, never turning back.
By the way, don't lie, you are crying. Don't wipe your tears when I get it. Before I got you wiping. Q, they were sensational on the keys there. Loyiso, phenomenal. If you would like to do something today, all right, if you want to work on your cardio, run to your phone and stream Seasons, their EP. I think that'll be a good idea. I'm just throwing it out there. 7 songs. It's around 23 minutes and 2 seconds. It's going to change your life. So do enjoy. This is Loyiso. One more performance on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Why would you run anywhere else? Stay with us.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. I'm going to ask you for the impossible right now. Just check your bias. Okay, take your allegiance to your team and set it aside right now. I can hear the words coming out of my mouth, but I know you're not going to be able to do it because it's the Champions League and it's the semi-finals. It takes center stage this week with Real Madrid.
Why am I here? Can I not sit there? Can I not sit on that side? Like,
You've got to be neutral, bro.
Oh, come on.
And then Inter Milan take on AC Milan in the second semi-final on Wednesday. All of the ingredients for some classics. This is Los Blancos' 10th semi-final appearance in 12 seasons. But then you got City. And you got Erling Haaland. Okay, and then we've got the Milan derby of it's the first time in 20 years, in fact, that these two teams have met in the last floor. last 4, and hopefully not on the floor.
No.
It's incredible. And with us to preview the 2 matches is Mitch Machanya from Football and Friends.
Yes.
You are our friend.
Come on.
We love you, Guy. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
Often mistaken for Loyiso, apparently.
Yes, a lot of times.
Look, the thing is, what's going to happen is tomorrow is that Manchester City is going to be carrying 2 L's just like Loyiso over the 2 legs.
I'm here for that.
That's confidence.
My friend.
I'm neutral. The Milan derby is going to be nice as well.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Buddy, let's cut to the heart of that. So Madrid eased past Chelsea, which you kind of expected them to show their pedigree. If anyone's going to beat City, it's going to be Real, surely.
Look, I mean, the focus will be obviously on that left-hand side with Vinicius Jr., who's got 22 goals and 22 assists this season already. He's looking like a front runner, maybe top 3 in the Ballon d'Or. So he's definitely going to be one of the key men. Obviously, Ballon d'Or Benz is still a factor. He's taped up his hand. You know he's ready for the Champions League.
It fell off, actually, and he just put it back and wrapped it around.
That's how it is. So I think those 2 are going to be very pinnacle in terms of carrying Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Can I not just ask the questions of Mitch Majana? I'm asking the questions because I'm trying my best to keep calm because, you watch free-scoring Manchester City on the weekend. Gundogan getting himself 2 goals. Haaland didn't have to be a part of the equation, which is scary.
The failure was that he didn't score, and everyone was like, how did he not score? I mean, that's the level of expectation.
And the guy's hungry. I mean, he even shouted at Gundogan for taking a penalty and missing. It's like, oh my word, I could have taken it and I could have scored, So he's a beast. But at the same time, you've got this team where it's an AC team, and then in the final, if they get past Manchester City. So looking at this and the impetus on the coach to take on this first, and the thing is, you have to draw blood in the first leg because you're going to go into the Etihad space, and that's going to be a different vibe. For you, what do you think is going to be the strategy going into this particular matchup, knowing Haaland, free scoring, Bernardo Silva last season was dangerous, and that's how we lost the first leg. That's the thing. So what is Real Madrid going to do?
We, the people.
Planning-wise, going into this matchup.
Look, I think we mentioned those big names, but I think there's an unsung hero in that Manchester City side, and he goes by the name of John Stones. He's played a different role to exploit when John Stones is in the midfield.
I was going to say that because then you need the Kyle Walkers and these guys to play a slightly different game and fill those gaps behind him. We've seen teams like Tottenham, for instance, struggling to do that. Pep has made the most changes to his team throughout the season. So he might rock up with a different team, completely different profile. So that's going to be an interesting one. When we talk about the strengths of Serie A, there's going to be an Italian in the final, guaranteed. This has the makings of a classic because clearly the league is in a good place. The teams are in a good place. This is what you want in a high-stakes game of football. Who do you think holds sway?
I think, look, if you look at the stats, Inter Milan might be the ones that might just come in clutch because they've won the last 3 out of the 4 Milan derbies. You know the San Siro, it's a good budget at San Siro, this name of Chelsea fans. Lukaku, he's been a threat this AC Milan got Rafa Leao, who is sourcing down that left. Listen, more sauce than a regular pizza. He is incredible. Plus Theo Hernandez as well, who is the left back, who scored an incredible goal over the weekend against Lazio, who dribbled right through the whole team, headed top-ins. It was incredible. So I think there's a lot of amazing pieces in each team. AC Milan do have more synergy in terms of them winning Serie A last season, and it's still...
Memory. So let us know where your allegiances lie. Are you a neutral like this man who's going to be crying before the match even starts? Where does your heart lie? Let us know. 0634088863. Who's winning Champions League this year?
These are the questions that could disrupt any family, but don't worry because this is something a little bit lighter. We've been speaking about the family dynamic all morning, and this next story focuses on an important life lesson to be learned as a young age. Now, early childhood development is important in South Africa. We look at an initiative that's instilling the healthy habits of bike safety within children across the Western Cape. Now, with the help of the Pedal Power Association, let's take a look at this. Oh, it's good.
So the Cool Kid in a Bike program is about teaching kids at a young age road safety. Yes, it's teaching them about bicycles and about bicycle safety, but there's a greater thing here, which is about how do you obey the laws of the road. Where you don't know what a pedestrian crossing or a zebra crossing, you start from there. You teach them the basics when they're 6, 7, 8 years old, and then you build on that as you go along. You know, early childhood development, early learning, is vitally important in South Africa, and what we're trying to do through this program is get good habits into children at a very young age.
I never ever ride a bicycle. This is my first time riding a bicycle. I would just love to ride a bicycle again.
Today I learned about all the traffic rules, and you need to know all the traffic rules before you ride a bike. And you always need to have a helmet, or else if you fall then you will break your head and you don't want to go to the hospital. Today I've learned about safety and about riding a cycle. I've learned that you can't ride a bike without helmet, and you have to check the bike before, you have to check the tires before riding it.
There are many benefits to riding a bicycle, from cleaner air, to less congestion on the road, to cheaper transport mechanisms. The main thing around getting people on bikes is to foster a better, healthy society, cleaner air, and with better community and social cohesion in communities when people are walking to work and riding their bicycles to work.
Well, the Cool Kid on a Bike program is an important program for the Education Department, especially for life orientation. One, because it incorporates the road safety aspect, which is very much part of the life orientation, life skills curriculum. But more importantly, it forms part of what we want to do in physical education, is to get our kids active, get our learners active, getting them active in a safe way. Our learners don't have depth of perception, and so we want to teach that through this particular program. And so we're combining all of this fun knowledge as well as the physical activity. We're putting all of that into one through the Cool Kid on a Bike program.
I've learned about all the signs on the road. I've learned about riding on a bicycle, and I've learned about to wear a helmet.
So as part of our Cool Kid on a Bike program, we have a larger program called Bike for All, which is around getting bicycles to people in poorer served communities and to school children, because one of the major factors in South Africa is affordability. So as Pedal Power, it's our duty and responsibility to make sure we get as many bikes to people around the country as possible. In our endeavors, we hope to give away many, many bikes to people around the country, and we're trying to reach at least 1,500 schools across the Western Cape.
At our school, we have children from the middle income groups, and we have children that come from the lower income homes as well. The Cool Kids program is an excellent program to teach those who have bicycles safe places to ride their bicycles and to be extra cautious on the roads. So all the rules and the safety measures they have spoken about was an excellent way of informing our learners, in teaching our learners to be very safe on the road.
And today I ride a bicycle to my first time, and I enjoyed riding a bicycle. I would really want to ride a bicycle next time. It was really fun. I would really like to ride a bike again.
Now, come on, I cannot smile at how awesome this initiative is. I am absolutely here for it. And what a way to foster a healthier society too. Now, we definitely strongly believe that the Pedal Power Association's Cool Kid on a Bike will equip learners to become safer road users from a young age. We all need this. I love it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, tuned in to your feel good that makes you move this good, and we're going to get you to feel even better right now. We're going to take a turn to the world of TikTok, and more specifically, our favorite families on the app. And of course, families has been the height of the conversation this morning, and we're going to keep it going right now and capture some of the best bonding moments and share them with the world for our entertainment, of course.
Our
Yes, gents?
enrichment.
Yes,
Our
yet to
yes.
serve. Now, you'll obviously find moms and dads tackling dance challenges, siblings pulling off epic pranks, grandparents telling incredible life stories, and much, much more. So it's time to take a look at some of our absolute favorites. Gents, should we roll it in?
Let's roll it in. I'll take that first one. So one of South Africa's favorite TikTok families dance us through the bad days and their infectious energy, their family chemistry. They've got us grooving along. So let's jam with the Joneses.
Hey!
Well, they have to get it from somewhere.
That is true, that is true. Absolute class, indeed, something that we absolutely are here for. But Carl, you got another one for us?
Of course, okay. So undeniably, everyone has a favorite family member, whether we like to admit it or not. Now, Christiana put her little girl to the test in this one. Take a listen to this.
Oh, it's nasty.
Aww.
Oh, no.
Do not try this at home.
No, don't.
You know, there is no way
Only heartbreak
my beautiful
waiting for you.
wife is letting us play the game. I'll tell you right now.
We'll definitely cause some issues in the house, but I've got another one for you. Now, not everyone's mom is made for the kitchen, but we also don't want to hurt their feelings. It's like our next video, all right? I know this one.
Oh, my heart.
How is it?
Good.
It looks like you're enjoying yourself. Yep.
Oh, baby.
You're enjoying. Okay, you okay? You
I'm okay.
Oh.
How is it?
Good.
Oh, my heart. Oh, little Baba. You got this,
Enjoying
girl.
yourself?
Oh, Papa.
That is not fair.
Oh, my word.
Quick question, just a side note. Have you ever had a moment like that in the kitchen? What happened?
So was there a gag?
Was there a gag? Could you hold it in?
It's become a standing thing that we do to each other because you go, and my son has like a hair trigger gag reflex. But it's the funniest thing. And of course, you can't help but trigger it as much as you can.
I appreciate that kids' love for just the environment, not to throw out any negativity. I love that.
I mean, foster that. That is a saint-like control of behavior and grace. That's grace.
I told you you're gonna love that one. But we've got more. G, what do you got for us
Oh,
next?
man, well, I think on this show, you know we love a family prankster. I'm guessing we've got a few in the mix here. And our favorite prankster, Nadia Jafta. She enjoys pranking her mom more than anyone else, and with good reason. Take a look at this one.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I just got out of the shower now.
Are you live?
Yeah, say hello.
Hi, guys.
Let's sing hello, let's sing hello, say hello.
Hi, guys.
Anyway, so I just want to show you this rash I have here, and I'm getting it on my neck. It's from the dogs because I'm allergic to the dogs.
Yeah.
But it's spreading down now. It's underneath my towel. It's a whole mess. Yeah, no, I'll show you guys quickly.
No! Oh, you live? Are you mad?
I know that I'm alive.
No! You can't tell them you're rash.
I'm gonna show them my rash, Mommy. I'm gonna show them my rash.
Come piss me off, Nadia.
Right there.
Say bye-bye to your fans.
Okay. Anyway, guys, I have to go now. But I just want to show you my...
That's cruel.
I absolutely love
that's
that.
punishment.
But let's give kudos to mom, of course. Always having her back, always looking out for a kid. That's something I think a lot of moms would be doing right now, and we could all testament to that as well, man. I loved it.
Okay, well, from that one, we go to another viral
What you got
trend.
for us?
I know you know this one. Okay, so we couldn't have this segment without including it. All right, this one is very special. Now, the bad romance challenge, it's going to make you laugh. And it's going to make you silently laugh, and then it's going to go whoop, because look at this.
Oh, caught in a bad romance.
Oh, caught in a fence.
Yo, we know we'd fail if we ever were to be given that challenge. You know that. We'd
I was
proper
wondering,
fail.
when you know that place, the rock and a hard place? It's the fence. We found it now. That's where it is. Oh, we absolutely love this. And we might be even attempting this one too.
What?
So stick around, Mzansi. And of course, I hope you enjoyed this edition because we are going to be taking that bad romance challenge to another level indeed. So you don't want to go anywhere. Now we're going to leave you laughing. Plus, we're also going to get Loiso involved in this too. So there's even more reason to stick around for this one. I hope you enjoyed this. And gents, that was pretty decent. I like what we rolled out there.
No, man.
Now, we were obviously still chatting to you, Mzansi, talking about the Good Morning Post and some of the roles and responsibilities that are going on in the household. Now, we're living in the new world, so hopefully the traditions have changed. Hopefully we can expect something a little bit different. And that's what we asked you to share with us, exactly what's been different when it comes to running your household. And the comments have come through thick and fast. Let's check it out.
Yeah, thank you so much. Zane Peterson weighing in. Morning. How do the kids fit into these rules? Traditionally, the kids were very helpful, but nowadays they're a bit more relaxed when it comes to chores and cleaning up.
What does that mean?
Are your kids relaxed?
Do your kids not get chores anymore? What is that? Whoa.
Yeah, that's a woke answer to a woke question. Well done, buddy. Well done,
I love
Zane.
that one. The comments continue. We've got Shireen Abraham says, good morning, Expresso family. Happy Monday. We do chores together as a family. Nice. But every family has their way to do things, and it works for them, especially when it's a single parent or grandparents that run the household. So I respect whatever works in a family home on how they do things. Loving the show as always, team. Have a super day. Lots of love. Lots of love to you, Shireen. Thank you so much for that. I like that. Everybody has their own system, and that's true. We're all working it out. You guys doing anything crazy your side?
What if they don't, stick to the system? You know how easy it is to change the Wi-Fi password?
Ah,
it's so
smart
simple.
man.
It's like an app. You just change it quickly, and then it's like, something's wrong with the Wi-Fi. I'm like, something's wrong with the dishes. But
and he taketh away.
I like that. Carl, you come with some nuggets here. I'm going to ask you to put another list through of all these other gems that you have.
It's all about that PlayStation. It's all about that PlayStation. Now, we absolutely love the fact that the South African family today represents where we are. It's a changing world. The roles are changing, but it's about where the heart is in that conversation, and most importantly, how it affects the children. They are the key to this entire conversation. Keep those comments coming. 0634088863. We'd love to get a voice note. We'll see you in a moment.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, where they make you do stuff like TikTok challenges and throw you under the bus.
Beep, beep.
So, we're all about celebrating families, and you may have seen in our What's Trending on TikTok segment that we saw a family doing bad romance. It's big on TikTok, and we decided, why do we have to leave it on TikTok when we have a whole TV show to do it on? We have people who can't sing and people who can. Let's give it a shot. So, this is what it looks like.
Oh, caught in a bad romance.
Oh, caught in a fence.
Introducing our attempt at that particular bad romance challenge. We've got Ryle in the corner. We've got Courtney in the middle. Now, Courtney is one of the most incredible individuals on set. You need to see her work in the kitchen and all over. She helps everywhere. You've got Graham over here.
Who she helps probably the most.
Yes. It's me, Carl, and it's Loyiso, the man that's got Seasons, the EP, that's only got like 100 million streams. Anyway, right, so I feel like it's only appropriate that the person who can sing start us off. It's bad romance. Loyiso, kick us off.
What's the order? Hang on, what's the order?
Okay, we just go around, eh?
It's
Okay,
probably
right,
gonna go
okay,
around.
okay, got you.
You warmed up?
Let's go.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I go?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, caught in a bad romance.
Oh, caught in a bad romance.
Whoa, caught in a fence.
Whoa!
Come on, Coach, give it.
Whoa! Caught in a bad romance.
Take it there.
Oh, caught in a bad romance.
Now.
Beautiful. Okay, Loyiso.
Right, let's go. Now, all together. Loyiso, lead us. Here we go. Wait, come back, stay here. Okay, he'll be back. But we nailed it. If you have any good comments, send it through to us, 063 408 8863. I'm going to get you guys out of here. They've got something crazy in store for you. Courtney's also... am I left you alone? Well, okay, now that you and I are alone, it's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We have something crazy in store for you ahead of Mother's Day. And you know what the great thing is? It's not singing. Take a look.
Oh, goodness. I hope we've destroyed his ear so he can't actually sing the last song. I think we can do that.
I'm sorry.
We really are truly, truly sorry. Please go and still download his album to see how you can actually hear the beautiful voice. Okay, so someone very wise once said this: mothers hold their children's hands for a short while, but they hold their hearts forever. Boy, every mother, I think, it's not about knowing this is true, this is their lived experience.
Yeah.
This is their existence is hinged on this notion. And with Mother's Day coming up this Sunday, making our moms feel loved and appreciated has never been more important, because we've got ways now of doing it that I think allow us to tell that story in a different way. It's not your same old Mother's Day anymore. And we are now going to show you just how you can put together a Mother's Day breakfast in bed tray like I've got here, or how to make your mom feel extra special with a curated little gift set.
Yeah.
And you can work within your budget, because budget does play a big role here.
It is the life that we live, especially with the cost of living increasing, but it doesn't mean we can't not spoil mom.
It's about the spoils.
Yes,
Hey,
and also I think the thought comes into it as well. So that presentation and the way things look really adds that extra touch to essentially that entire sort of gift that you're giving. It's never going to really amount to what your mom has given you, but at the same time, I think it's something that she definitely deserves, right?
Yeah, because at the heart of it, you know, everyone enjoys the things that they love, the little spoilings and things like that. So I'm going to start with the breakfast tray, which I absolutely love because you can get quite bespoke with it. And it speaks to the personality. So my mom has been really on a different kind of nutritional kick. So she's been denied a lot of her favorite things.
Okay.
So it's about being able to enjoy that in a side that's not going to break her will, gets her to enjoy these moments and the occasion without kind of stepping too outside of her framework.
A little bit of guilt-free indulgence, maybe.
Exactly,
That kind of
man.
vibe,
And she
yeah.
absolutely loves her sweets. And what our foodie team helped me prepare here, obviously you've got your gorgeous hot chocolate, which is amazing. And speaking of the hot chocolate stick, it melts itself. So the stick and the chocolate, they come as one. And literally, you put it into the hot cup of milk and let it dissolve.
Wow, look at that.
And that goes in, and you let it stir.
Nice.
I love that, man. We absolutely love it. So to make Mother's Day, I think, even more special, just to level it up, add a touch of coziness, maybe with a new pair of soft slippers.
Oh, and they are
I think your
so
mom's going to
soft.
absolutely love those. Beautiful Sherpa blanket, or maybe a hot water bottle. We are going into winter. These are winners. There's a reason why they've stuck around. And then you can put it all into the bag.
So I'm going to do exactly that, G. So I've got some of this cool sort of tissue gift wrapping paper that really works. This is that little extra touch that moms needs, you know, especially when it comes to giving her that gift. This is how you really show it up.
And they give you 5 or 6 reserve pieces.
Yeah, just in case the first one doesn't go too well. So this is something you kind of get. I'm just going to take the outside layer over here. We'll pop these ones just in the shelf there. Cool. But this is how it starts. So guys, don't forget, obviously, we've got a nice little balloon that's going to go in there. But this is how I kind of like to do it. So you know you get that little zhuzh moment in the box.
It's kind of like a pocket square. You just
yeah,
got to go with your guts.
I don't know how a pocket square actually works, but it just got to work. So essentially, we kind of layer the first box up with this, and that kind of just fills in all the blank spaces. But like you mentioned, I'm going to add all of this good stuff. We've got these beautiful slippers in here. Those are really going to be comfy. And as you see in the colder months, Mom's going to love that. You spoke about the water bottle. I know she's going to love that too.
And again, it's that kind of cover that the pets are like, oh, it's a real thing. It's an animal. I must groom it.
This is also like, in case I'm not with my mom, then she can hug this instead. You know, like the replacement. You see what we did there?
Okay. And you're going to use that line when she says it.
Yeah, man, but like you mentioned, all these options can go in here. It creates a beautiful gift. And like I said, make it pop. Make it really stand out, you know, so it's kind of looking like mom-worthy, you know what I mean?
Exactly, with a little bit of your influence there as well. I absolutely love that. You've got the photo frame as well, and I think that's such a clever idea because it's something that lasts. Beautiful photo frame with the photo of the two of you, or your family, or your little one, whatever the apple of Granny's eye is, maybe that. But this is a beautiful way of kind of having a lasting reminder of those special memories, something that literally lives in their space. Beautiful.
I'm just feeling like Mom's needs even more pizzazz, so I'm trying to style this a little bit better than it was. But of course, Mzansi, you can do the same thing. Now, on top of this, we've also got some awesome options. We've got this book from her favorite author. The Crazy Store has a wide selection of novels to choose from. Now, Moms is going to definitely get involved in that, and a nice opportunity to break away, just escape the chaos of reality. And a book is something that can really take you there.
Yeah, look, the romantic edge there, we'll work around as sons. You don't have to go there. But our moms also deserve to have a freedom of the imagination as well. Then you've got amazing chocolates. You've got amazing bags. You've got amazing little finishing touches to add to it. Then, of course, if you're planning that breakfast in bed or just want to spoil your mom with something special this Mother's Day, just walk into the Crazy Store with an open mind. I have no doubt that you will find something that's going to make this Mother's Day one to remember.
Don't forget the card.
Yes.
All right, we set, man.
Look at
that looks good. Yum. Mom's going to love you, bro. She's going to love you.
Just get one for yourself as well. I have a feeling.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, you'll find great value for the whole family at the Crazy Store. So duck into a store near you and be surprised.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. I did warn at the beginning of the show that I'm a cry risk today. And yes, it's true, actually, as I'm standing here, I'm struggling to not burst out crying. But it's crazy, dude, because we've had a front row seat, dude.
Yeah.
And you've seen my musical prowess. You've seen where I can take my music. No, but it's crazy, because it feels like you've entered into the championship rounds now, where almost every situation you find yourself in requires you to do more than you did previously.
Yeah,
Do you
actually.
feel- and it's bizarre, because we can
That's
see the
crazy.
growth. And we've seen it, I'll use Callum Scott as an example. You think, oh, you've hit us, but he was so much better the last time he performed where you're standing right now than the previous time.
Yeah.
You are so much better, unbelievably as that seems. It's not the talent that's making you better. What is the shift that you're in now? Does it feel like you're in the big leagues?
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, and I feel like it feels better. I mean, I feel like I'm in a better space to do it. You know, like I feel like I'm not a struggling artist anymore. I'm kind of like more of a developed artist, so I kind of know myself better. So I think I know how to give people what I feel like I need to give.
There's intention behind
Yeah,
what you
there's
do.
definitely intention, and I think it comes from it's a gifted place. It's like I was given this, so I kind of want to use it the best way possible, and I think I'm guided very well as well.
In that sense, well, you've tapped into the source emotionally. You're connected to that thing that we're all feeling. There is something divine about that.
100%.
And I understand this is a freshly written song.
Yes,
Seeing
sir.
you guys work out the emotion of how you play it is amazing. What prefixed this song? Why was this so important to write now?
So yeah, Give a Little Kindness is about giving a little kindness to yourself, because sometimes we tend to be very hard on ourselves. And I think it's more about being accepting of the fact that, you know, some days are just worse than the others, and some days are just better, you know, so it's just good to have that in mind every time you wake up in the morning.
Well, let's remind the people.
Yeah,
Right
let's just
now.
give a little kindness.
Yes, one last time, Luisa, with Give a Little Kindness.
Awesome.
This is Give a Little Kindness. Living in a day, breathing in my space, out of touch. This is kinda nice. I'm living in a day, I'm breathing in my space, out of touch. This is kinda nice. All this time I've been colorblind, feeling like I'm out of line, giving every part of my life. And all this time I've been fighting tears, or maybe get a little therapy, changing who I wanna be. I've been missing out. Take a little time if you gotta go. This is what it feels like. Give a little kindness to yourself. Sometimes it just feels like, oh, yeah. I'm living in the way, breathing in my space, kinda nice. I'm getting in my face. I'm done falling. And I think I've had enough. And all this time I've been colorblind, feeling like I'm out of line, giving every part of my love. All this time I've been fighting tears. Maybe get a little therapy, changing who I wanna be. Not been missing out. Take a little time if you gotta go. This is what it feels like. in tears. Maybe get a little therapy. Changing, no, I wanna be. I've been missing.
What even?
Goodness.
Like what?
Oh, my goodness. So we didn't ruin his voice, thankfully.
No.
Please, Q, Loyiso, stand up. Take a bow.
You too, Q.
Legends. What a privilege. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you to all of you joining us this morning. What an amazing show. Love you guys.
Indeed. Daniel and Rolene Strauss will be on the show tomorrow, so don't miss it. It's here on S3. Check them out and see them live
See you in the
tomorrow.
morning. Love
Adios.
you. Have a beautiful day.
Never.